You unlock this stream with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of live streams. A dimension of review roulettes. A dimension of Halloween. You are moving into a land of both Raph and Brayton, of Laura and Nick. You've just crossed over into the Robot Zone.
Portrait of a frightened man. Mr. Robert Wilson. Tonight, he's traveling all the way to his appointed destination, which, contrary to Mr. Wilson's plan, happens to be in the darkest corner of the Twilight Zone.
Well, I've made a pact with John Lithgow. Sitting by the auxiliary exit door, drifting through the lightning-covered sky. My sanity breaking, my britches torn. There's a fuzzy gremlin, and he's airborne.
They fly now!
Already I'm so terrified, I could cry. So, honey, just look for me, Spock. Please, oh please, don't gaslight me, Benny Crane. Only I can see him. TJ Hooker? Yes, I know.
What do they call them during the war? Gremlins.
'Cause I'm tripping on a jet plane. Priceline. There's someone out there on the wing. You being Abraham. Back me up here. John Lithgow.
There he is, I see him. He looks like Harry.
My corsage!
Hey there, dear stewardess.
Forget
Spock. Excuse me, Mr. Pilot Man. Oh, screw you. We'll have to take matters into our own hands. Lithgow.
Say no more. You've got it, Captain.
'Cause we're tripping on a jet plane.
There's someone out there on the wing.
There's a man on the wing of this plane!
Set your phasers to gun.
Get lost, Harry. We don't want ya.
We did it! This is why I hate flying Delta.
That's enough of that noise, huh?
Hello, people of the internet. I am Andres Perez, aka KaijuNoir, here with my 7th annual Halloween live stream. It is a tradition that I've done for almost every Halloween since I've began my pseudo YouTube career thingamabob. And so tonight we have a very special live stream for you guys tonight, as we'll be doing a live reading of the script for Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, the classic Twilight Zone episode. And yes, JF, he says, Gad, we've never seen your face before. I'm pretty sure you've seen my face like here and there, especially in the G-Fest videos. Although, to be honest, most people don't really watch those videos compared to my others that I've done before. But you won't be seeing my face. My face won't be the only one that you'll be seeing. For tonight, we are joined by a cavalcade of friends that I am very glad to have on here tonight. First up to bat, we have ourselves Mr. Raph and Shoma, the Crimson Weirdo.
Yes, as disguised as Detective Dirty McCorruption.
The Dirty Corruption.
Yeah. Hello, everybody out there in TV land, radio land, internet live stream land, whatever land. That's all I got for tonight. See ya.
No problem. And
Okay.
JF said, by the way, to make things easier, I am JF now. It's me, Jordan. I do remember Jordan. It was, we always had difficulty, whether if it was like Fazan, Fazoon, but JF, thank you very much, good sir. Next up, it is the dynamic duo of Nick and Laura of the Review Roulette podcast.
What's happening?
What's going on?
And you guys are
Yes.
So you are great costumes, by the way, as both Jet Jaguar and a Otaki Factory Draco Azul hybrid employee.
We're kind of still in the middle of moving, so I found like our one box of costumes. I'm like, crap.
Did you also?
I'm Jet Jaguar from the top up, and then like we found his costume, so it worked out good.
Awesome. Did you dress those up for when the trick or treaters came?
No, all 10 of them. No. They probably would.
And we have ourselves, we got Jesse Guajardo in the chat, trying to carry the monstrosities after dark meme here. Hello, Jesse. Thank you for joining us. And last but certainly not least, it is the man of the hour who had the one person who had come up with this wonderful idea and went all out for that intro you just heard, as well as the various title cards he created. Give it up for the Chat-tasm himself, in honor of Brandzand Films.
All out of my freaking gourd. Yes, I came up with this idea, and I'm the only one whose face is Sir not appearing to the next program. But I'll be ready next time, I swear, if there is a next time.
You at least you have the appropriate icon there, so we're good.
The Chat-tasm?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very chat-tastic.
What up?
You really shat the bed here, Brayton.
Brought to you by Shasta Soda.
That's the funny thing. Anytime I try to do like William Shatner, I always feel like I'm transitioning into Ace Ventura. Oh, righty then.
Well, we had a conversation a couple of private chats ago, about how some of the most impersonated people, they're not really accurate impersonations of the people, but they're just fun to do regardless. Like Shatner's one, I mean, he doesn't really talk like this, where every word is Arnold Schwarzenegger's another one who doesn't, gargle through his words typically in regular speech.
Right.
But you bring up the point, though, that everyone's impression of Sylvester Stallone is pretty spot on.
Yeah. I went to Comic-Con one year during I think it was the Expendables 2 panel, and I just listening to him, he had a very deep gravel, he was gargling gravel. That's how he sounds like. He's like, yo. Oh God, he really...
gravel in the morning.
Greedy lives, you know.
I think I was listening to some behind the scenes for Expendables 2, and he had gotten hurt, and he could not convey that he had gotten hurt because no one understood what he was saying.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
He started monologuing.
It's like, yeah, that was a good shot.
It doesn't matter how many times you get hit. It matters how much brain damage you can take.
I was in Spy Kids 3. Yeah.
That's true. Holy shit. It's like,
It's
Arnold, you gotta tell them I'm bleeding out here. Okay, don't worry, I'll tell it to them very clearly.
Look at the blood.
Come on, the guy with the body and the things of the nature.
Then they tell Bruce Willis, and he's like, whatever, and he just walks away. You're like, oh.
It's like, it's not true. It's not working. They're not understanding me. Dolph Lundgren, you're the only one who can help us, man, this time of hour.
Sure, whatever. I'm a scientist. I'm not here.
I will help unbreak you.
With science.
I will glue you.
Oh no.
Let's see. Joining us also, we got Mark. We got the Crimson roommate in the chat. He's like,
hey,
"What
Mark.
up, guys?"
Hey, buddy, what's up?
We got a longtime follower of the channel, Joel Davis. Oh wow, you guys are in disembodied voices this year. Yes, we're finally updating everything. We're doing everything.
I do kind of feel bad though, Andres, if the first time anyone in the audience has seen your face was that image that I put together of you on the plane. What?
I forgot what exactly was the context behind that one photo at G Fest.
I don't know. We're doing sketch videos the first year that you, me, Patrick, and Andrew were together, the B team of the Sons of Sarazawa, as it were.
Right.
And we were doing a thing where
the daughters of Daisuke, as we would joke about.
The proud daughters of Daisuke. We Patrick was doing a bit where he was crawling out from under the bed.
Yeah.
And he collapsed in a heap. And you were like, help him up, help him up. And I don't think we even used that bit in the video itself.
Right, because I remember those sketches, and it was like, you know what? I don't think we ever showed those sketches online from the last G Fest we were all together on.
Not the last one, because we forgot to or we didn't. What did we do? A retrospective chat? Because there was that part of it that was missing.
Yes, and I think I sent it to you, and then we just never got around to uploading it.
I don't remember ever getting it, if we did it.
Okay, yeah.
But but my beautiful scenes are still intact, right?
Yes, you are not a lost spider, Raph.
Thank you.
Is that the one where they couldn't find you, Andres? Where they're like looking everywhere?
This was
all of you, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, who are these people?
This was the
yeah, the final one we did was from the last G Fest that they had, which was 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
I think
the one where they couldn't find you was like 2017, right?
Yeah, and then this one is the sequel to that, where we found him.
Right. We found him, and that's the one that had Raph in. It's like, look what I found.
I found him. He's right next to me.
Yeah, and it's like, how are we supposed to go to G Fest? And Brain was like, oh, we can use the closet. They use the time travel to next year's G Fest.
And it's basically the equivalent of a Lost Doctor Who episode. This whole series of events we set up, because that happens, and then Raph gets murdered at the end.
Right, and then we had like
a giant gas guzzling crab, by the way.
And that it led to like the greatest outtake ever that had Patrick Galvin losing his shit.
Yeah, and Patrick's a pretty stern block of wood. That man. Yeah. So it takes a lot to make him crack a smile. But no,
I've never seen any other expression other than annoyed.
Well, here's the thing you have to understand: Raph, as you'll see tonight, because you can all see him in the flesh, is a very talented physical comedian, much like your Emmett Kellys of the day, or famous pratfallers of the 20th century. Raph belongs right in that league. Mm-hmm. And all he has to do is, act like he's getting shot, and it's the most hilarious thing in the world.
I really hate Mondays.
I just imagine Patrick Galvin's face was just like he just had a side smirk, just a little bit. Like,
yeah.
No, this was full on losing his shit, where he couldn't hold the camera. We were just laughing for like 5 minutes straight because of him.
His sense of humor grew 3 sizes that day. And he fell to the ground saying, I'm laughing.
What is this feeling? What am I doing?
I cannot take this feeling anymore.
He finally got a good relationship with his dog, Max. That weird looking dog that looks like something Chuck Jones would have drawn. So I'm just saying.
With a horn growing out of its head.
Yeah. What's that all about? So
he made it into a monster. That makes sense for Patrick. He just got his Dr. Seuss dog. Put a little unicorn on it.
Yeah, no. The quick context was Detective Jerry McCruption is getting shot again, but it's like a hail of bullets, and I know you can probably show the footage later on your end, Andres, since it probably will come out better. But it's basically like in this outfit without these glasses, it's like I hate Mondays.
And if you don't find that funny, there's something wrong with you.
Get out of here.
What killed me was
the bullets.
Was when one of you guys recommended we should do that as a 1 hour loop, and I just laughed so hysterically I had to fall to the bed. I want to
loop you like your little spastic twitching there, and like play da 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 dun 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 for an hour long.
I will make the animated PNGs for the gunshots. So
I'll GIF it, GIF it, whatever.
Okay.
By the way, we also have Calder Vanegas in the chat.
There's a Gundam villain if I ever saw one.
You're supposed to be the meathead guy, right?
You're supposed to be the meathead guy.
Yeah.
Habaru.
Habaru, yeah. The guy who goes, constantly working out. Yeah.
I should have just brought a weight in and just Been lifting the whole time.
Luckily, we had costumes from a convention we weren't able to go to because I was supposed to be like the Jet Jaguar, and he was going to be my Otakuri Factor worker.
Oh, how sweet!
Shucks.
I've not shaved into here in like 3 months.
Yeah, but we had everything all good. And you're like, no, next maybe for G Fest we just randomly show up, and then we'll be in see them filming some weird video. We're like, why are they just laying on the floor? What's going on?
And he said, hell yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. We also have Mabuse Cast, who says, happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween to you.
Hey.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Good to see you, Mabuse Cast. Long time no see.
And we got, sorry?
No, he used to come in on some of my streams in the early days. So.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
And we've got Doomzilla, who is someone that I've seen many times before in many other streams. Happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween to you too, Doom. And let's see. Also, Jesse came in to say happy 25th anniversary to Resident Evil. It's funny you should mention Resident Evil. Given that this past week, I played Resident Evil 1, the HD version of the remake version of the first game for the very first time. With Nick helping me throughout the whole time.
I wish we could have I wish we would have been recording when you were just like trying to shoot the dog and you were just shooting at the
Yeah, it's like, am I aiming it? Am I doing this right?
Like, no, because you're being killed by the dog.
What is then like there's the part where I died where it's just like the dog continuing to bite me. It's like, how do I get rid of this mud?
It likes me. Oh, I like how when you were starting to play, I'm like, you gotta let him play, and then halfway through, you're like, Nick, just tell me what to do. Like, I can't.
Yeah. It's like I have no patience for these type of like puzzle games where you gotta look for this one key to open this one door, and then look for this one arrow. Yeah, look for this arrow, but then you gotta inspect the arrow, find the arrowhead, and then put the arrowhead into a tombstone. It's like, no, I just want to shoot things.
We can play Halo next time then. That's what that game is. I just want to shoot things.
Yeah, so from what I hear, the Resident Evil Remake 2 and 3 are pretty much like that.
Yes.
So I can see why our buddy Random recommended 2 mostly over 1.
Remember, for me, I thought we were playing 2, and then Nick like booted that, or you booted that one up. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll go hop off for a while.
Yeah, a lot of Resident Evil 1 is mostly just like walking through an atmospheric mansion most of the time, at least from the couple hours that I spent playing. And I do appreciate what it was going for, and I definitely love the sense of mood and atmosphere and horror to that first remake game. And also I just wanted to start with the original because I wanted to see where it all started. In a sort of pseudo way. Let's say we have Doomzilla, who said, let's see Andres is Ultraman. Very true. Got my Ultraman hoodie all ready here.
At first I pictured that it was a onesie. I thought you had an Ultraman onesie on.
I wish, although technically... I will say technically, because I'm actually wearing jeans, you could say that I am Hideaki Anno's version of Ultraman from his fan film he made back in his college days.
Clever.
So yeah. Yeah. Technically, I'm Ultraman Anno.
Right here, let me finish the illusion and give you the facial hair.
Yeah. See, like without this, I even have like the shaggy hair that Anno had.
Oh yeah. Just get a Sharpie and do the mustache. You'll be okay.
Until it doesn't come off for the next couple days. You're like, oh.
Remember, this was young Anno before he grew a beard. The goatee of depression, as I call it. Let's see. And he said Nick is Singular Point, Laura is Jet Jaguar, Raph is a rejected Blues Brother.
Hey,
I'm on a mission from Gal.
Godzilla.
Yeah. Let's see.
He sent me here to get a pizza. Now hand it over to me.
We got Final War 22 in the chat saying, what's up, everybody? Hello, Final War. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's see, he mentioned Resident Evil 5 would be more along the lines of your game. Yeah, I do know that Resident Evil like 5 and 6 are definitely more like action-based shooters. Although I hear that they're nowhere near as popular as say 2, 3, 4, and 7.
I know not a lot of people like them. My brother and I like them. Well, 6 is stupid. 5 is still fun if you're playing co-op.
Is that where you punch
Chris
a boulder?
and Sheva. Yes, you do punch a boulder. But it is a very fun co-op game where you actually, there's not a lot of puzzling. It's actually a lot more combat, but you feel like you're always working together. Like you'll do mini split up points and you kind of meet together, do combat together.
And then you punch a boulder.
You do punch a boulder.
I mean, you punch a boulder and it does something. Like anybody can punch a boulder, but like he literally just punches a person-sized boulder and it like goes across across.
I did play the demo for Resident Evil 5 when it first came out on the PS3. Online co-op, and that was a lot of fun. I remember back in those days. Let's see. Calder said, oh no, actually, Calder said, just bought it. Oh, okay. That was referring to this comment here. He says, have you guys ever read the Marvel Ultraman comic? No, I haven't.
I think
I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's okay. So.
All right. Yeah, he said he just bought it. And then when we were talking about Resident Evil, he said the liquors scare the shit out of me when I play it.
It's not there yet.
He said the second one also scared him. Let's see. JF said Resident Evil 6 is trash.
Okay.
Okay.
That just happens over and over again.
Okay.
That and if anyone who's
That's
played
a button, isn't it? You hit a button and that literally happens. It's over and over again.
That,
Like, why?
if anyone played 6 knows the thing where you can ride on a what are those like teeter-totter things, but it's a panda, and you can do that with Chris. It's a seesaw. Is that what it's called?
It's not like you just made something. It's like a teeter-totter, but a panda. Like
wait a minute. A panda on a teeter saw. This sounds like one of the missing endings from goddamn, what is it? The Silent Hill games? What the hell?
like
a donkey? What?
What are those child animals you ride on that has a spring, a circle spring, and it goes like this back and forth in like a playground?
I've never thought of them having a name. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about, but those come in like a wide variety of different animals. Unless you're from like a small town where it was just one animal species, alone.
And it has been sadly abused by many of the bigger people that got onto it, like the adults, and you're just like, I'm not made for this. This was not my purpose.
Let's see. Doomzilla says, I still play the original Resident Evil purely out of lulls. We got S452, the biggest War of the Worlds fan I've known. He says, "Hi guys, just got out of seeing Dune, Ghostbusters, and Halloween at my local movie theater. Great selection of films right there. It was also awesome to finally see Halloween for the first time in a half-packed theater. On my way home now. Thank you very much, S452, for messaging us while you're driving. Hope you don't get into an accident.
Put the phone down.
Little did he know the killer was in the back seat.
Oh my god. Let's see. And we got more Resident Evil. We got more Resident Evil comments here. We got Jesse, who says, when I play Resident Evil games, I sing a small song. We're going head to head with the undead. I'll fill them full of lead because they won't stay dead. Stay dead. Let's see. Calder said, what about 7 and 8? I haven't played any of those games. So, Nick, what do you think of 7 and 8?
I really enjoyed them too. 7 goes back to a lot of the original one.
7's scary, like in a weird, like I feel like 7's scarier than 8.
7 is a lot more like Texas Chainsaw to me.
Yeah, that's why it's scary.
It's very like scared, stuck in a house. 8 is a little more actiony. I still really enjoyed it though, minus Magneto. I don't like the Magneto sections because I thought it was too long.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I played the game multiple times and I call the guy Magneto.
I always want to call him Fassbender, but it's like Heisenberg.
Heisenberg,
yeah.
And I think overall, like judging from like what fans have like you and our buddy Random have said, it seems like 8 was not as good as 7, but it was still good in its own right.
Yeah.
And like you kind of need it for the story because it was like an interesting like. It was weird because the whole time you're playing it, you're like, this doesn't really feel like a Resident Evil movie. But then, or game, but then like they all of a sudden they like drop this one thing. We're like, oh god, like this is how this is connected to everything.
And I'll always say, as stupid as those games get sometimes, the thing I've always enjoyed the most, even when they're not scary, is they do a good job of being like, this is a B horror movie, but here's a fun, interesting like backstory when you read like the manuscripts you find along the way of like how these incidents happened. Those usually connect and string together a good set of events that keep the story going along, even all the way through 8.
And all in all, it's nice to see a game series that has had some like weak games, but not like Sonic, where people are like, oh. But, like generally, it's been like positive on the positive side.
Yeah. Like as much as people like to like Doomzilla here, like to shit on Resident Evil 6, it didn't have the effect that like Sonic 06 had.
Yeah. You can play Resident Evil 6.
Yes. It's just the fact that it's in a series of 8 games that are like really good, and you're like, I gotta pick one that isn't good.
Yeah. JF says 7 and 8 are great. Well, 7 is. 8's just okay. What was it? Calder says they should remake Dino Crisis. I never played that, unfortunately, but I know what that is. Let's see.
Final Dino Crisis better than Resident Evil?
Not with the current control set, because they've never updated it.
It's like a weird.
It is unplayable almost.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
If you switch to classic controls on Resident Evil 1, that is Dino Crisis.
Oh.
Had only because there was no analog controller for it. So it's that stick movement, but with more buttons.
Yeah, it's not fun. It looks cool.
It is really fun in the day.
And there's dinosaurs.
It needs a remake.
Dinosaurs!
A dinosaur! It's a giant dinosaur!
What's the one you like? What is it? Not a plesiosaur. What's your favorite one, Raph?
Holy crap! Not a plesiosaurus. I'm gonna have to pick a real dinosaur. Ankylosaurus. I'm a big fan of Ankylosaurus.
Nice. For me, my favorite. Luckily enough, I have a figure right here.
I thought you were gonna.
You're surrounded by
my favorite is right outside the window.
My favorite is the Therizinosaurus, which is kind of like the Freddy Krueger Wolverine of dinosaurs here.
To be fair, though, the creature in real life was supposed to be really docile, so
that's why I love him. He's a badass looking dinosaur that I could potentially keep as a pet.
Yeah.
How big was he in real life?
Yeah,
like a big guy. Like I think people would be like this tall, like up to his.
Actually, the claw, the whole arm is bigger than a human being.
Yes. It's about the arm is about as long as a person.
I was like, some dinosaurs were like huge, but they always make the same size figure. Like, weren't raptors supposed to be like the size of chickens?
Right.
So just like, look at this big scary thing. You're like, yeah, that sounds great.
Let's see. We got Badre Bali here in the chat. Hey guys. Hey,
nice
thanks
name.
for joining us, Badre. Let's see. Joel Davis said, I watched the original Godzilla 54 for Halloween this year with friends. That is awesome. Hope they liked it. Let's see. Badre says, I just found out that the Astro Boy 2003 anime creative team was involved in many Ultraman productions, as if I need another reason to love that anime. The 2003 remake of Astro Boy, I remember watching that. I think it was on Kids WB for a short time, but I remember really loving it. I should revisit it one of these days.
Yeah, it's not half bad. So I just kind of wish only the dub version is available in America, and but you can find it relatively cheap on secondhand market. I know I actually ended up buying the whole series for like $5 over at my local Dollar Tree because all the DVDs were available there, and I gave it to my brother Miguel. But with that says, the dub isn't overly atrocious. It's not like for kids.
No. Well, this is definitely into the 2000s when people started to put more of an effort into anime dubs.
Exactly. Although, like I said, I wish there would be like a beautiful Blu-ray version with like the original Japanese audio track. And subtitles available.
It's honestly so surreal to have like an anime available in the US that doesn't have the Japanese dub available. It's kind of strange to think that back in the day that used to be the norm, just only English, no Japanese, because who wants to read?
Americans.
Let's see. Well, since Nick left, this was a question for him. Who's your favorite Resident Evil character?
Who's your favorite Resident Evil character?
Claire Redfield.
Claire, awesome. That's a name I recognize.
Is that the? Which one's that?
The
redhead.
Redhead? Yeah, the redhead.
Yeah.
Code Veronica and Revelations.
She's
Okay.
the motorcycle racer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
She's the best shot.
Yeah.
She's the best shot, and she has a hilarious scene in Code Veronica where she catches a handgun and she drops it in the air for no reason to shoot a gas tank.
Just to show off.
Yes.
Let's see. We got JF who said Lady Say
Lady D. Say Lady D.
Lady D, yeah, Lady D, witch waifu lady is the biggest reason to play 8. It's so funny because like a lot of the marketing was around her and a lot of the hype was around her. And from what Random told me, she's like the first or second boss who just dies like early into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
she was.
I remember you. I think we were telling you on just like, and maybe you could tell us, but essentially like we were reading some of the marketing behind her, and like she's scary in Japan. Like here, it's like they made her this very scary, horrific character, and here it's just like people are like, oh my god, I want her to step on me. It's like that's not what we made. That's not what we made this character for.
Yeah, the Japanese must have been like, what the fuck are those Americans into?
Don't you see she's a giant older woman? We're terrified of such things.
They like legit thought she was scary, and here it's just like bring more of her. We want all of her.
And I bet you the Japanese were like, fuck, why didn't we use more of her?
Yeah, because I think when I asked you that, I'm like, well, they probably thought she was sexy. You're like, no, I read this article, and they were like, they're legit scared of this big woman. It's like, okay.
I guess that's the thing. It's like Japanese always kind of have like this stigma against like, larger, imposing, older women. Whereas like in America, we're kind of into that. Yeah.
I remember back in '67 when Julie Newmar went to visit Japan, they sent a whole platoon of tanks and maser cannons to destroy it. Thankfully, a giant Eartha kit known as the it's like War of the Gargantuas, but with old cat women.
Doomzilla says Resident Evil 7 is fun. The remake of 2 is amazing. 8 is great.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought we were playing. I was all ready to sit here and just watch Ondos and be scared, but it's like, oh yeah,
we will get there.
Yeah.
Let me just like, I can distinctly hear like the clicking of his feet walking into the next room. I'm like,
now's not the time for fear, Laura.
It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted.
Not all dreams come true, Laura. Let's see. Fan made. I'm not sure what he means by fan. I guess he means the remake Dino Crisis. Doomzilla also wants a Dino Crisis. Can't wait for Primal Season 3. Oh, okay. I'm assuming he's talking about the Genndy Tartakovsky show. Let's see. JF says actually the Therizinosaurus was a predator at one point, but they became vegan just like my mom.
Oh, okay.
He was like like ripping into a bunny. He's like, am I the bad guy? Like
that explains everything.
I guess it's like a grizzly bear. It's like, human or endless honey? Endless honey.
And finally, Joel Davis says my favorite dinosaur is a T-Rex. Probably why I loved Godzilla as a kid, because he reminded me of the T-Rex. Same for me too. I just grew more interested in the Therizinosaurus as I grew older, just because of how more unique it looked compared to every other dino. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the T-Rex is always everybody's favorite dinosaur at one point.
There's giant lizards. You're like, did you know that there's other ones? Like, no.
Quick question for you, Laura. When you asked me my favorite dinosaur, are you expecting something other than Ankylosaurus?
I don't care, Rap.
Okay, all right. The pterodactyl with a laser gun? I don't know.
I thought you were like some sort of wasn't it like a plesiosaur?
No, okay. If you were to ask me what's my favorite prehistoric animal in general, the plesiosaur would be on top.
But was I saying it wrong? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but no, a plesiosaur technically isn't a dinosaur. It's just an aquatic reptile, like if a Komodo dragon or a snake decide to live in the ocean full time. Whereas, of course, dinosaurs were avian related or bird related.
Anyways.
The problem is you weren't going with the Cretaceous period. You were going with the Jurassic period, and you were wrong.
I was wrong.
I don't know.
I stopped during 2 seconds after he started talking.
Woolly mammoths are also cool.
I don't
care. We got ourselves Bobby Reynolds in the chat.
Nice.
With our first super chat of the evening.
Nice.
For $5. Thank you very, very much, Bobby. I'm very grateful for your support. He said, would it be great if there's a thing where take a character with their style from one game and plug them into another game? I think they've done that several times where they would take like a guest character and had them show up somewhere else, like Beautiful Joe featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. Or what was it?
The Soul Calibur guest stars?
Oh, the Soul Calibur guest stars, absolutely.
You always have to take people from like the same type of game because you can't take like Master Chief and put him into Farmville because it's just kind of like,
well, I guess like there are a lot of those mobile games that have like cross collaborations with a lot of anime movie brands. So you'll have like One Punch Man in some mobile RPG game where he just wipes out every character in one punch. Or Super Robot Wars, they're constantly throwing in a bunch of random characters like the Megazords and Mega Man and Godzilla and then Gunhead and Garo. Garo showed up in the mobile Super Robot Wars games.
Really?
Did they make him bigger?
Yeah. No, he's just a tiny little man next to all these giant robots.
Oh,
that reminds me. Kamen Rider, and like the whole time I'm like, I'm just waiting for him to get bigger, and you're like, he doesn't get bigger in this one. I'm like, well, when is he gonna get bigger?
Yeah, they did something. They did something similar with Space Sheriff Gavon was in one of those games.
Yeah. Space Sheriff Gavon was also in Super Robot Wars Cross Omega. So there were quite a lot of tokusatsu characters in that mobile Super Robot Wars games.
Is the 30 Super Robot 30 that one's out now?
It's that's the newest one and it's out now. Yes.
I need to buy that.
Yeah, it's available on Steam for the first time ever. Americans can actually buy in the past Super Robot Wars games, the only ones that ever came to America were 2 on the Game Boy Advance and 1 on the DS, but they featured no licensed characters, only originals, because it was easier to license out to America. This time, however, Super Robot Wars is available on American Steam. No idea if it's ever coming to consoles, but for me, I'm just going to import the Hong Kong version, the Asia region version with English, like I did with the previous game.
For Switch, right?
For Switch, yes. I'll get that for Switch. But yeah, if you guys enjoy turn-based strategy RPG games, I would recommend that checking out Super Robot Wars 30.
Yeah, I was like, I love them, but does it have subtitles?
The version on Steam should be completely translated in English. Text-wise, I mean. The characters still speak Japanese, like a lot of Japanese licensed games.
As long as you knew what was going on.
That would be fine. I was just hoping to find a way to play it on
because there's like EVAs
Switch
in it too, right?
with subtitle or some way to play it on Switch.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you have a Japanese Switch online account, you can go to the Japanese shop, download those games, because a lot of the newer Super Robot Wars games that were added to the Switch Japanese Switch store have English included. The first 2 they included did not. That's an interesting thing. I've noticed that nowadays almost every new game that has an international version keeps all those languages in the Japanese store. Yeah. So like something like Super Robot Wars T, no English option on the Japanese store. Super Robot Wars 30 most likely will have English on the Japanese store. Let's see. Checking out. Oh yeah, there's a lot of new comments here. Yeah.
And when the Super Driver talking about the crossover things, that reminded me of Project Cross Zone. I would love to see like a bigger evolution of that because I like how Project Cross Zone started, but like essentially it was like the different characters. It was just melee and ranged with the way the combat would work, but they do have so many crossover characters in there. It would be cool to see like their different types of combat.
Who's like what are different characters that are in it?
Like Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine's in it. You have like Dante, Cosmos from Xenosaga's in it because it was. Oh my god, what are the different?
Oh,
it's Capcom and
Is Xenosaga like, Capcom?
Namco Bandai. It was Namco and Capcom crossover.
Because it seems like those are the ones that cross over all the time. It's like Bandai and Namco.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next one here, Joel Davis says, I would love to see a kaiju survival game, mostly featuring the Godzilla monsters, maybe like Monster Island survival game. Yeah, that would be really cool. I guess City on Shrouded in Shadow kind of did that, but it was really cheaply made, and it's really just you literally walk from point A to point B to point C to point D, and you're finished. There's not a whole lot of interaction with the actual environment itself. A lot of it is like mostly scripted sequences. That's all it is. It's all scripted sequences as you walk from point A to point B.
Yeah, and also in addition, unless I'm mistaken, in addition to the the actual kaiju and tokusatsu characters never interacting past their respective genres, you don't really interact with them, period. The player.
No, not really, no.
Yeah.
You do interact with Dada. Dada is like chasing you down, so that's like one of the more interesting aspects there.
Yeah.
Dude.
I think of that or like not RC cars, like Hot Wheels on strings. Every time I hear Dada, I just think of Hot Wheels on strings.
Let's see. Calder says, what do you guys think of the new ending of Get a Robo Arc? I think I'm the only one who watched Get a Robo Arc. And I say I really enjoyed it. It ended on a cliffhanger ending, as of usual for a lot of Go Nagai written endings. But it didn't bother me too much. It reminded me a lot of like Gamera 3's ending, where the main threat has been solved, and now the characters are off on another adventure to their ultimate battle. And I liked it. I felt like it ended in a way that was natural. It was a natural course. In fact, it was the same ending, essentially, as New Get a Robo from 2004. I think it was 2004 when it came out. But yeah, overall, I really like the ending. I know people don't like those cliffhanger endings. It's like, oh, here's the final battle and end. But it's like, for me, I thought I enjoyed it, where it's like it's a battle so grand that you can only imagine how epic it would be in your mind. Let's see. Next, Badre says, turns out 2003 Astro Boy was also the only anime Kazuya Konoka, Chiaki Konaka's younger sibling, I'm assuming you wanted to say, ever directed, as he directed live action stuff, including several Ultraman films like the Dyna Tiga movie. Oh, nice. JF said, High Guardian Spice is honestly scarier than any horror anime I have seen recently. I've seen clips of that. I'm like, holy shit.
How bad is it? If you can briefly state.
It just looks really, like, animation wise, it's all right, but voice acting and sound editing, it is like garbage.
Okay.
Like, for whatever reason, the main pink haired girl sounds like Ash from Pokemon. Like, she has like a very raspy voice. And apparently, like the voices, like the sound mixing was awful, where like the music is too loud and the voices are too low. Or occasionally there's like a character where it's like you can tell this person never acted a day in his life.
Right. Now, is the series officially released, or are people just judging on the preview still?
No. It's on Crunchyroll now for everyone to judge.
Okay. All right. So, because I know people weren't happy when they even saw concept art of it.
Well, that's because it just looked very generic. It like a lot of like newer Western animation shows look. Oh yeah, someone said someone said the voice acting and story was just as bad as Ruby.
Ouch. Okay, yeah, that's a terrifying comparison. So
JF says Garo appeared in what? Or sorry, what?
I think he thought it was a different Garo, because I think the next comment is like Garo from a different show.
Oh, okay. All right then. But yeah, it was Garo who appeared in Super Robot Wars Cross Omega. The mobile game, never any of the console games.
Are there any other Garo games?
That's a good question.
Because I've been doing some Garo, so if there's any other way we could get some Garo in our lives.
Let's see. There's certainly a lot of pachinko games.
Oh.
We're gonna have to get a pachinko machine at some point. Because I know there's like the Godzilla one, so I'm just like.
Yeah. I found an Evo one on eBay that was out here, and it was like $500, and I'm like, that's still a lot. And then it's like, oh, but freight shipping. I'm like, oh no.
No. Like I will come to your house and I'll pick that up.
There was a video game called Golden Knight Garo for the PlayStation 2. And there's a mobile game, of course. Let's see. So yeah, I guess the PS2 game is the only one that exists. So if you have a PS2 emulator, you can download that. And we got MJ Knight in the chat. We got Random's brother here. He said, hey. So a Megazord.
If you only knew, MJ, if you only knew.
And no, not that Garo, Calder. Garo is a tokusatsu character akin to like Kamen Rider, except it was made for like a primetime audience back in 2005, and the franchise continues to this day. Yeah, and we've seen Laura, Nick, and I saw 4 episodes together, the first 4 episodes together, and it's really damn good. Essentially, if you ever wanted like primetime Power Rangers, this is for you.
Like that's exactly what it feels like. Because even if like as a fan of Power Rangers when you're younger, like watching Garo just like it feels like a natural progression. Yeah. Like it feels like we got to figure out when we're gonna watch some more of those Kaiju Noir because we
just got to finish this damn novel first.
Not to mention all the all the horror movie elements throughout the show. So.
That's it, and it's very like Resident Evil too in a way. Like
Mm-hmm. The monster design.
Especially the last one we watched would be a good Halloween episode where he has like the syringe finger, like that, like
syringe, scissor, tentacles.
Yeah, just like he's like nope, I'm good, I'm out.
Let's see, and JF says actually, Kamen Rider J can grow big. Kamen Rider J was like the third 90s Kamen Rider movie after Zeo that we saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only seen Zeo, so that's why I was like, the whole time we were watching Zeo, I'm just like, is he going to get big? You're like, no. I was like, oh.
Yeah, there was also, of course, the original Kamen Rider and Ultraman versus Kamen Rider.
Yes.
Masked Rider and the Saban show, an episode where he grew giant size, but they were just reusing footage of Jay.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So it's weird how it keeps cutting to Jay, and all of a sudden it's Kamen Rider Black RX, like, I'm big now.
Even though I'm a different character for some reason.
Exactly. And then there was Kamen Rider Decade went giant size in one movie to fight Jay. There's a bunch of other like giant Kamen Riders, but they're all like villains and one-off monsters, so we can ignore them for the moment.
Yeah, basically Jay is the main one who grows big.
Yeah, and the best.
And he primarily just appears in one movie and a couple crossovers.
Got Toltakin in the chat.
Let's see. JF says it's not. Super Robot Wars 30 was confirmed to not be coming to American consoles. That's unfortunate.
That's sad that they would confirm. Like, feel like most people would be like, "Oh, we're not saying anything." Like, nope. You're not getting it. You're like,
just so you guys know.
Yeah. So if you want Super Robot Wars 30 in English, you gotta import the Asia, not the Japanese version, the Asia version. And I guess because that's the version that shows up in like every Asian country, like whether it's China, Hong Kong, Korea, whatever, and it's like English is the one language they all share. Let's see here. Doomzilla says I'm not very familiar with Super Robot Wars. PlayAsia has them subtitled. Yes, indeed. That's where I got mine. Let's see. I play them on PS4 subtitled. Yeah, that's awesome. And I can show you my English copy of Super Robot Wars T, which, as you can see here, the title is in English.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there you go. On the Switch.
The Switch library.
My little Switch library right here.
Is that the one where Gunbuster and Gundam spend 4 levels just making ginseng?
Making what?
Like the vitamin that you take?
No, ginseng tea. It was a stupid joke.
I mean, Gunbuster is...
Jokes are supposed to be funny, Raph. You laugh all the time.
I'm sorry. I should have said something like, "Is that the one where Big O and Pat Labor make iced tea?"
Yeah, that was better.
And then they serve it to iced tea, the rapper.
There were the times where you laughed at things that you just misheard me saying, assuming I'm telling you a joke. And I was like, I was asking you where something was. And you're like, like, what?
But I had fun.
Let's see. Final War says we need a game like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but with Toei Tokusatsu heroes. There are some games like that. It was called the Compati Hero series. It was a crossover between Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and Gundam. And there were several games in that series of various genres, whether it was like a beat 'em up or an turn-based RPG or what was it? A volleyball game. The volleyball game actually had Godzilla in it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. There was also I believe a turn-based RPG game. I forgot what it was called, but it had like a lot of like Tokusatsu hero games. I think it was called like Superhero War 2000 or something like that. But anyways, he said, "Oh yeah, that's it. We answered that." Get a Robo spoilers. Too late. Yet to see any Get a Robo media. A great shame of mine. I'd recommend starting with New Get a Robo. Actually, yeah, New Get a Robo is available on Retro Crush, which is an anime streaming website that's free. Just has ads. Other than that, yeah, I would say start with New Get a Robo, which is sort of like a retelling of the original storyline, but with a lot of new elements thrown in. Other than that, I would also recommend Get a Robo Armageddon, which is another OVA 13 episode OVA series, and then the shortest one, New Get a Robo versus Shin Get a Robo, Neo Get a Robo versus Shin Get a Robo. That's something I would recommend for like if you're already into Get a Robo, even though it's like only 4 episodes. So maybe that might also be a good one. So any of the 3 OVAs are good starting points. I started with New Get a Robo, so I'd recommend that to you. All 3 OVAs, by the way, are available in America on Blu-ray. Let's see. Since Toho Studio seems to be licensing out Godzilla to other production studios, who would you like to see take a swing with the IP? That's a good question. Let's see. Other studios. I mean, they got a good thing going on with the people behind Singular Point.
Netflix?
But, well, I guess they technically are already collaborating with Netflix on Singular Point and with that anime trilogy previously.
Okay.
I'm not sure, honestly, who would be a good company for them to partner up with.
What about a creative person?
I'd say Tsuburaya. I'd love for Tsuburaya to do something with Godzilla. I'm sure they can probably put something out that looks much better than that Godzilla vs. Hedorah short they got coming soon.
You guys are so mean on that. I'm just happy to see Hedorah back in any form.
Listen, man, this is how you get mediocre shit, okay? If you just blindly accept everything, that's how we don't get quality.
Yeah, but when it's an obscure character that hasn't gotten any proper love for ages, it's like, well, I'll take it.
Very well.
So, besides, like, Hedorah is a recurring character on Gojiban. I don't see you complaining about that.
Because I don't watch Gojiban, because I don't like Gojiban. Laura, I don't think we can hear you.
It's probably best that you couldn't.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were responding.
I was, but I didn't want you to hear me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Badre says another favorite anime of mine has an Ultraman connection. Grendizer had 2 writers. They're heavily involved with the Showa Ultraman and other Toku productions. Funny you should mention Grendizer because that is the 3rd like Mazinger robot. And for a long time, Grendizer has been largely ignored because it's not as popular as Mazinger Z and Great Mazinger. But the French, I've learned this week, really love Mazinger, so much so that there's going to be a new French comic of Grendizer, as well as an action video game for Grendizer. So I'm looking forward to that. I guess for the French, Grendizer is like their Voltron.
Oh.
Let's see. In response to when we were briefly talking about Harry Guardian Spice, JF says worse than Ruby. Harry Guardian Spice is an instant nope for me. Ruby's one of the worst anime. Aww. Let's see. Jesse says I would love to see Ultimate Kaiju game where Godzilla, Ultraman, Armor. Don't we all? Let's see. Meant to say younger brother. Chikai is the notable animal writer. Oh, the third season of Digimon. Okay, yeah, that's the dark one. Let's see. I already read that. There was a Garo fighting game. Cool. Devilman was in Super Robot. Yes, Devilman is in the new mobile Super Robot Wars game, Super Robot Wars DD. S452 says, just got home. I'm so glad you didn't crash. He said, my favorite dinosaurs are Microraptor and Spinosaurus. Also, they show clips of that new Resident Evil movie before showing Halloween, and they used the He-Man "Hey, hey" meme song in it. Wow.
What's going
on? Let's see, what's going on? Okay. What?
You just said what's going on.
What? Oh, that's right. And just as I was about to go over MJ Knight's comment here, let's see. Oh, that Garo. My mistake. I thought it was One Punch Man. Let's see. Now I know who you're talking about. When will I get announcement for Japanese Spider-Man being in No Way Home? Practically everyone's confirmed for No Way Home except him. But at least there's what was it called? The sequel for Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. He's going to appear in there.
That's the only one you've ever liked, right?
Yeah, I hate Spider-Man. I like Across the Spider. Is that
Into the Spider-Verse? That was the first Spider-Man she's liked.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's funny that they have the Spider-Verse movie, or like this, they're crossing all of them, and then they have like the Flash one coming out
as well. Yeah,
at the same point, like the Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, yeah.
Let's see. MJ asked, didn't they? Oh, what was it? Where is it? Here. Didn't they adapt that into Mask Rider? Yes. So Kamen Rider Black RX was specifically chosen to be adapted into Saban's Mask Rider. And then like 10 years later, they took Kamen Rider Ryuki and adapted that into Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Neither were successful enough to bring Kamen Rider to America, much in the same way as Power Rangers did with Super Sentai. What's that?
Is Dragon Knight the mirror one?
Yes, that is the mirror one.
Okay, I watched some of that one.
Cool. And yeah, and I guess for anyone wondering, Mask Rider, Kamen Rider, it's essentially the same. It's literally the same name. Kamen is Japanese for mask. Here's one of the writers for Grandizer, was the main writer for the first Sentai series, first 5 Metal Hero series. Wow, and 12 episodes of Kamen Rider Black. Nice. Let's see. S452 says, just out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on Dune Part 1? If you guys seen it, I haven't seen it. I just downloaded the audiobook of Dune for my phone, so I can't wait to read that. Read that. And have you guys seen? Either of you seen Doom?
I've seen the David Lynch one, and I've read the book.
Okay, I've seen nothing of Doom, and it's unfortunate Raph isn't here because he definitely knows Doom. His Doom. Dune.
I like the original movie probably only because David Lynch directed it.
But David Lynch doesn't like that movie.
But David Lynch doesn't like the movie. Right. It doesn't matter.
Didn't he also do Alien 3, or was that someone else that didn't like it?
That is something.
Okay.
David Lynch does all sorts of just anything weird.
Like Eraserhead, Twin Peaks.
Yeah, and Mulholland Drive.
Yeah. Let's see here. JF says Kamen Rider J is also the Genos of Kamen Rider because he always gets his ass. That's the funny thing with, like, they treated Kamen Rider J the way they treated Superman in the early episodes of Justice League, where because he's clearly the strongest, they got to take him out really fast. So that they can increase the tension and drama.
Is that like similarly? Is that like the original X-Men cartoon? Where Wolverine would like start the fight and then he would just be knocked out for half of it. Like,
yeah. JF later says, when I was showing off my box art for Super Robot Wars T, he said, "Is that fucking Rayearth?" Yes, that is Rayearth. I never knew what Rayearth was until I played that game, and it's essentially Sailor Moon with giant robots.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm kind of interested after playing through the game. because like each Super Robot Wars game would adapt elements from all these respective TV shows and movies, and like try to combine all the stories together. So I was seeing the storyline play out for Ray Earth when you see the Ray Earth characters interacting with each other. I'm like, okay, I'm digging this. Let's see. JF says a lot of people say New Getter Robo sucks. Yeah, I can see why. I think it's mostly because of the animation. It was the first digitally animated Getter Robo series, and as a result, like early digital anime wasn't really all that good looking compared to like what came before and what came afterwards, because they were just getting used to the technology. So in that case, check out Getter Robo Armageddon. A lot of people say that's a good point, a good starting point. Or you can just read the manga, because it's available on the original Getter Robo mangas are all available online, translated, unofficially, of course. Let's see. Doomzilla says, other than Super Robot Wars, what other mech games do you play? Mine is Armored Core. Ooh, I played a little bit of Armored Core back in the day. Giant Robot games that I've played before. Oh, Virtual On. I love Virtual On Cyber Troopers.
Zone.
Let's see.
Zone of the Enders.
Zone of the Enders.
Oh, of course. Yes, Zone of the Enders. That's another great one as well.
We just finished the first one recently, and after moving here, we're about to start the second one now, because we had never played that. And thanks to your recommendation of it, we really enjoyed the first one. So
I'm very happy for that.
Wait.
It wasn't his.
Was it yours?
Remember, we bought the figure before we played the game.
Yeah, you bought the figure before, because it was
it was Otaku Builder.
Yes.
Also, a lot of the Gundam versus Gundam games I really love, whether it's like Gundam versus Gundam or Gundam Extreme Versus. Those are all great. I played a little bit of their like pseudo reboot, which was simply titled Gundam Versus, which they were like heavily trying to push for a Western market, but I guess it did not work very well, because then they went back to their Extreme Versus games. Gundam Breaker, I loved Gundam Breaker 3, where you actually like put together a model kit and play simulated battles with your virtual customized Gundam model kit. And the whole storyline is all about like you're a character who's trying to save this game shop from closing down by participating in tournaments with your custom Gunpla.
That sounds adorable.
Oh yeah, and you can. It's also available. You can import the Asia region version in English. What's sad is that they later rebooted the series with New Gundam Breaker, but it's like a glitchy mess, and that's the only one that ever got an American release. So yeah, if you see New Gundam Breaker, don't get that. Get Gundam Breaker 3 from PlayAsia. Let's see. I wonder if Hanna-Barbera would make a new Godzilla series. Boy, I wish. Although I don't think they're even around anymore. They just kind of like got absorbed by what is it called, the Warner Brothers or whatever, Turner. If the Japanese found Lady Dimitrescu simping scary, Lady simping scary, how would they feel about the Western gamers simping for Mass Effect aliens like Tali and Garus? Thankfully, I don't know what those are.
One of them I understand. The other one I'm like, no. Is it Garus? Garus is the
Garus,
the fish-headed one. I think of him as fish-headed.
He's got the little pieces right here.
Yeah.
We got.
Tali just usually has the mask because she can't breathe.
That character. Okay.
But there's like a picture of her you see. I don't remember if it's a romance scene or if you see a picture of her at your bedside in 3. If you romanced her, I romanced her in the game series because I was like, oh, she's the smart one. And I hate
Let's see. Pandy Sweet says Hedora best girl. Baudry says, going back to horror-related anime, horror-related, are any of you familiar with one of Eiji Tsuburaya's last TV productions, Operation Mystery? I don't, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure Raph would know.
He was here. Oh, he changed to a different thing.
Yeah. Next, he says, it was kind of like X-Files about a team of investigators called in to investigate unusual cases. Neat. JF says, what's Gojiban? I'm going to look that up. Looks it up.
Sorry. I hate Gojiban.
Yeah.
I hate Gojiban so much.
I like the first one where it's Shin.
Yeah, the only one I like is that's
doing the
not
ballet.
Gojiban. That's just the Toho channel. Gojiban is strictly the puppets.
Oh.
Because essentially Toho has a YouTube channel and they put other things up there, but Gojiban is the stupid Bratz dolls.
Okay. Never mind.
Badre Bailey says Grandizer is also super popular in Egypt and other Arab countries. I've heard of that. Yeah. It's basically popularized anime in the region. Oh, that's a funny thing. It's interesting to learn that like America was kind of like one of the last markets to get into anime. Meanwhile, like the Middle East and Egypt and Europe, they were all in, and especially Latin America, they were all into anime way before America was during the 90s. Like,
well, even like, was it Mexico way more than the US? Because like I remember watching a thing about what is the gold?
Saint Seiya?
Yeah. Which is like it sounded like everywhere else had like good anime, and they're like, no, these children. It's like, no,
Yeah.
that's the shit we want.
Right. I think the reason why anime got so popular in Mexico was because Mexico didn't have the budget, the money to make their own stuff, so they just imported other people's stuff. And they were already into
Saint Seiya.
Yeah, and they already loved like story, like TV shows with overarching storylines, like telenovelas. So it's like like that kind of anime was like perfect for them. Meanwhile, for us, it was always like every conflict has to end within the same episode.
Like, because I'm doing it for like it's funny how like I realize children aren't the brightest thing, but like it must have thought we were like really really dumb. Like you can't carry over a thought for 15 seconds. It's like I can. I kind of can.
See, Japanese Spider-Man is best Spider-Man. I do agree with that. I fucking love Ray Earth. David Fincher did Alien 3. He also did the Halo 4 commercial. Also, Frank O'Connor, the Halo narrative director at 343 Industries, is a massive fanboy for the David Lynch Dune movie. Nice. Jesse said, the only Getter Robo series I've seen was Shin Getter Robo, and I loved it. Awesome! That's the one that's called Getter Robo Armageddon in America. The ending for the first season of series was so heartbreaking. I watched that series during my vacation with my dad and stepmom and my brother. That's awesome, JF. Let's see. Gundam Breaker 3 is amazing. Hell yeah. Don't mention Gunpla. Oni, that's a mutual friend of ours, will randomly appear. Calder says Toho should make DBZ like Godzilla show. That would be cool. Let's see. About
like
the
S4 or 5 too is like an Xbox person, and I feel like that makes them good.
Yeah. Oh, big time. I can definitely say that. He says, and the photo of Tali's face in Mass Effect 3 was a cheap Photoshop job of a stock photo of Miss England 2005 before they fixed it with a proper drawn image in the Legendary Edition remaster. That is hilarious.
Oh, because we didn't get the Legendary remaster, right?
I bought it now on Xbox, so I have to play through to see the real picture. What?
Remember, we're not playing any of their games anymore.
Why aren't we playing BioWare games?
Because they were horrible.
Are they a bunch of creepy sex perverts?
I mean, they're not as bad as Blizzard, but like they no, because they did the whole Dragon Age crunch. They're like, see, it's magical if we just force these people to like live unseemly. Like, yeah, no.
They did Mass Effect before.
Oh, you mean they made a good thing and you're sad? Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus, Laura.
Standard. Standard.
There's that Team Savage spirit. Let's see.
Be able to work in a comfortable condition. That's all I say.
Is it so hard to ask? Let's see. Badre says, plus Mexican audiences love action-adventure media like those old 50s, 60s films starring masked lucha libre wrestlers fighting against mad scientist monsters and aliens. Boy, do I know those films.
Sounds great.
Oh, they're one of these days I got to show you Las Momias de Guanajuato. It's about the three of the biggest wrestlers of the day teaming up to fight mummies.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yes, it is.
Was it like, because you know how there's like WWE productions? Was it like the wrestling thing that put on the movies? Like, is that how it was?
No. This was just like Hollywood studios who wanted to not Hollywood. This was Mexican movie studios wanting to capitalize on the popularity of luchadors by by casting them as themselves in movies, akin to like say when they got like The Rock and like Hulk Hogan to appear in random movies.
Oh, okay, that sounds amazing.
They're very cheap, but they're super charming as hell. Let's see.
Have you
Calder
seen
says, yes, Gamera did appear in Dragon Ball.
The wrestling movie? The monster wrestling movie?
Oh, Monster Brawl?
Monster Brawl? Has anyone seen Monster Brawl?
I've never seen Monster Brawl.
Oh, Monster. We'll have to show you it. Oh. It's so good. It's essentially SummerSlam meets Hammer Monsters.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you feel like you're watching a pay-per-view wrestling movie, like a pay-per-view wrestling.
But like obviously no rights anywhere, so it's like generic.
It's the Swamp Lady versus Frankenstein.
Let's see. So early, we just had MJ who asked, pardon my asking, what is Laura's shirt meant to be? Is it Thor? It is a Godzilla character by the name of Jet Jaguar, which I'm about to share on the screen right now.
I actually refer to this as Astro Jaguar, though.
Nice.
Because
right, because you combine it with like a sort of like a pulp hero Flash Gordon, like
yeah, it's supposed to be like Flash Gordon meets Jet Jaguar.
Mm-hmm. And there's our boy right there. There we go.
Oh, my gun died. Oh.
And yes, Calder, according to MST3K, his mother never loved him.
Oh.
But you know what? I love him.
Yeah.
and I love Laura's costume of it. And he says, now I see it.
That was kind of a weird thing. It's like when you make weird, obscure costumes, you're like, I don't care. No one's going to understand what I am.
Oh, yeah. Like when I dressed up for 2 years as Rorschach from Watchmen and everyone thought I was like Inspector Gadgets.
If you want to just walk up to you and go, do.
Oh. Maybe Rorschach actually was Inspector Gadget in some weird, twisted way. Like later on, he's like, no one understood. Claw always got away.
And S452 came back saying, I want Star Wars Visions, Halo Legends, Animatrix short film, anime collection for Godzilla, just to give creators far more creative freedom and tell more out there Godzilla stories. Yeah, you know what? That's essentially what Godzilla Legends was from the 5-issue miniseries from IDW, where each story had a different artist, different monster to focus on, different takes on Godzilla. Or not just Godzilla, but different Godzilla monsters. So like one story was about Anguirus, another one was about Rodan, another one was about a kind of sort of Godzilla and Kumanga, and my favorite was about my boy Titanosaurus. Yeah. This guy right here.
I wish they would do more stuff like that, because essentially like it's a quick way to explore like, because I don't like Star Wars, but we watch Star Wars Visions, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like I get to put up with this realm in different ways. But yeah, I love Halo Legends is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, like honestly, like a lot as interesting as a lot of these fans' ideas are in the chat. Like I want a Dragon Ball anime, I want a Toei anime. Honestly, I think this is the best idea right here. Just a Godzilla anthology, just letting creators do their thing. Throw in Batman Gotham Knight into the collection as well, even though there is supposed to. I think Animatrix was the first one, then Gotham Knight.
Yeah, that's right after Matrix 1.
Yeah. Was it after Matrix 1?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, that would have been, yeah.
For the long wait for 2? Or was it after 2 to 3? I thought it was after 1.
I think
after 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Best episode of Visions was the Promare episode. That's the crazy one with the twins. That one honestly was my least favorite.
Yeah, because we didn't like that one.
Yeah, like I love crazy shit like that. You know, I love Gurren Lagann. I love Kill la Kill. Just for me, that did not seem appropriate for Star Wars. I know for some people they like it because it's like Star Wars, but anime as fuck. But for me, it's like compared to how the other shorts handled Star Wars and anime elements, for me this was like too anime. It didn't feel like Star Wars at all.
I fell asleep during one of them. I don't remember which one it was.
Oh, I think it was the one where it's like the girl Jedi with the mask over her mouth.
Yes, because I was just like, I've been up for too long. We're still watching this. I'm tired.
And also, it's like for apparently this was something I learned after the fact, that during the making of Star Wars Visions, the Star Wars people, they just told these anime studios, make whatever story you want, but they never. So there's a lot of these studios that were making their shorts.
Also, they never knew what everybody else was making.
Right, and that's why so many of those stories felt so similar with each other. Like, here's a village. The village is under attack. Here's a Jedi coming to save the village.
Yeah, because I saw he was like, I like the village one. I'm like, isn't there 3 village ones? Like,
yeah.
Like, that's a good way to be like, yeah, the village one. I'm like, I don't remember that one. Yeah.
Color's like, you're right. I like the village one. Like, which one?
I like the one with the lightsaber in it.
I like the one where we almost thought there weren't going to be Jedi until the very end, and they're like, here's the like,
yeah. It's like, enough with the fucking lightsabers already. And like, in Raph, you were mentioning on Facebook, but it's like, that's all they do in Star Wars. I'm like, no, Raph. The Mandalorian show that you can do a Star Wars story with no fucking lightsabers.
Okay, I probably made that as a joke because I honestly...
you did.
Yeah, but no, I tried watch. I got like halfway.
But by the way, Raph, shut up, Raph.
This is Andres' show. You don't tell me what to do. What should I do, Andres?
Shut up, Raph.
No. Okay. No, I was like, I got halfway into a Visions, and yeah, it was like I know lightsabers is a big thing about Star Wars, but it just got ridiculous. This was like, if there was one more short, I bet it would just be 2 sentient sabers talking to each other. Like that's how bad it got. And granted, there were some cool concepts here and there, but like, wow, that was like
after that, I was worried. Like after the twins ones, I'm like, why are we like? But the second half of it was good. Like I enjoyed all of the second half ones, but like the first half, I'm like, we could be watching other things, and they're like, but I want to finish it. It's like, oh, fine. But then they had like
Nick and I were like, but the Star Wars.
I'm just like, no.
Okay. With that said, I have to ask you guys. I had a bit of a guilty pleasure enjoyment out of the Rock Band episode.
No. That's one of my favorites, right? I love, again, no Jedi. Like, I like that it starts with a Jedi, but it's like he's like, maybe being a Jedi is not for me. I want to do music. I want to be in a rock band. Yeah. It's like Star Wars rock band. I fucking love that concept.
Yeah, and not only that, but a good, an actual good guy, Jabba the Hutt. It's like, wow, and they did a good, a good Hutt. Yeah. And I love how it's like, I just want to do my own thing, man, with my friend.
Yeah, like, that was probably my sweet music. It was like the favorite ending of that. I'm like, oh, this is great. I like that one, and then because we all like out of the 3 of us, I think it seemed like we all kind of had the same list. But I'm trying to remember what was the one that. Was it the second to last one or the last one? That was the best one. Like the one that was like the one we almost thought wasn't going to have Jedi in it.
Oh, the bunny girl one, yes.
Yeah, I like the bunny girl one. I think you liked the one that had like the weird, he could see into the future thing. He became evil, essentially.
Oh, the last one, the very last one, yeah, which was like Anakin. Yeah, that was like Anakin's turn to the dark side, done right.
Done right in an 18-minute.
I like when you guys say it like that, it makes way more sense. Versus like, yeah, that does make. Where it's just like, yeah, you could save this woman.
Yeah.
Instead of just like,
hey, the woman, and no, it's
Annie.
I slaughtered
all of them. Is she alive? She was alive when I saw her.
I feel like that's probably very cathartic for those niggers. We're just like, we just hate 3. Like everyone, no one likes these movies.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Calder just answered our question. The 6th episode is the bunny one that people simp over. Oh yeah, the moment I saw that
right away, we're like, I guess there's all sorts of things.
Oh yeah. There's so much. Like the moment I saw that character in the first trailer, I was like, yes, this character's going to have so much Rule 34 of her.
She's too young. It's terrible. Why?
Dude, has that ever stopped people, Raph?
Has that ever stopped you?
We have. Hey, what? What did you say? No, it's like I'm depraved. But I'm not that
card all of the people I draw. Every single one.
But no, it's just it gets disturbing when the character's clearly way too young and they still make, terrifying, sexy art of it.
Yeah.
So, but then again, Japan, older woman, terrifying, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Rap, this is the internet. People are dicks. As MJ puts it. Let's see. S452 came in saying, and Star Wars Republic Commando is still my favorite Star Wars game. The novels are great too. No Jedi at all. It's all about the soldiers and made Star Wars feel like a proper military sci-fi epic. Awesome. I will say, like, the few episodes I have seen of Clone Wars, my favorite were always the ones that focused on the clone soldiers themselves, the clone troopers themselves, and just showing what life is like to be a clone trooper. Let's see.
JF said the clone people, and they were like, "This is what these people are," and then later on they were like, "Well, actually, they all died out, and these were just soldiers now." It's just like, so what was the point of the Clone War? The Clone War.
Let's see. JF responds to Raph. Raph, there's Rule 34 of a lolly dragon. I unfortunately know what that character is.
Right.
And
I don't know what he's talking about either.
To quote Sinbad from Jingle All the Way, this is a sick world we live in. Sick people.
Yeah, but it's even sadder that nobody actually recognizes that, there's something wrong there, and they just kind of happily let it, keep it going. It's funny. And I know it's
like, it's a 5,000-year-old dragon, even though even my dragon years, she's still a little girl.
You're like, what is the age of consent for dragons? No, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Oh, no, Nick, no.
I didn't look up Rule 34. I just searched normal picture.
It still came up.
It's just sexy fan art for anything. That's all you need to know.
If you know what the series is, it's Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Oh, okay. So that
everyone knows what the name of that type. It's the name. It's the popular anime that everyone talks about.
It's so sad. Like, half of me utterly adores that series, especially for its slice of life, comedy and character interactions. But then the other half, it's like these little girls don't need to be sleeping over at this age. It's just terrible. So
again, sick world, sick people.
See, you guys. I love how Nick and Nora, for a moment there, it's like their troll powers were destroyed when they realized it's like, what? They actually did that? No. So that means, Nick and Nora, you still have humanity. Unlike
who's
the
Nora?
Rest of you. Damn it! Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know.
Oh man, what are we gonna do about this giant monster black? Get it? It's like KaijuNoir, but okay.
Oh, I thought you were making some stupid.
Like a different language of one and then the other.
Yeah.
You're damn right, Skippity McD. That's your name. So I'm gonna enjoy a drink.
It's radioactive.
There you go. That effect came out okay.
No, but
where is Brayton?
Yeah, where's Brayton?
Like, we're supposed to do a. We're supposed to do a. We're supposed to do.
He would be back in 10 minutes. About an hour ago.
It's been an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably making himself look nice. It's Brayton.
Right here, give me 5 more minutes. So.
Yeah, it's like I found my flashlight. I'm ready to do stupid shit.
Yeah,
I feel like he's just stretching. He's been stretching for an hour to be like, I'm going to be the best wife of William Shatner he never murdered.
Right.
Calder says, and Shoma's going to shoot his atomic breath now. Like Braid says, I got to get into character. I'm wondering. I bet you he's going to come in like in full drag, just getting ready into the role.
Right.
Let's see. S452 says there's a fan remix of Vote and Brother. It's all with the Halo Clone Wars Bad Batch theme, and it kicks ass. Nice. I guess
is he excited for Infinity?
Yeah, he has told me about Infinity, and because I'm not a Halo fan, I'm not an Xbox person.
If you just want to shoot stuff, that is your game.
like from what he's shown me of Halo Infinity, it looks to be pretty interesting as like the first like open world Halo game.
So good. I feel like we could alternate, like between me and Nick, be like, okay, I'm gonna make you play Resident Evil, but like, we're gonna shoot stuff for the next 8 hours. It's gonna be great.
Let's see. MJ says, given how popular Spider-Man was in the 70s in Japan, could you see a similar approach with the Hulk? Yeah. I mean, the 70s, the Bill Bixby series was pretty much tokusatsu. It was like practical effects.
Yeah, thank you.
all you need is just to give the Hulk some bad guys to fight, give them some like robot armor costumes, and you'd have yourself a Japanese series. Yeah, just have the Hulk.
Yeah, because you could just have a guy painted green who's just fighting people in suits on a mini stick.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there were any other like tokusatsu heroes with the suits and muscles, and the one that comes to mind was
those three demons, the Alakazamers. You know, they're three demons from the subterranean world, and they were basically Hold on, I'll look it up.
You know, three demons.
Yeah, would have been pretty cool too. Is like have a lot of like the Japanese wrestlers could have been in like outfits then.
Yeah.
Because you'd have like the Hulks, you have like another wrestler, like it would work because it's all buff people.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Yeah, to Tsuburaya Productions, they actually did a series about a transforming wrestler and mixed it with anime sequences too. So, all right, but
there was a Tiger Mask anime.
Oh yeah, that's right, Tiger Mask.
Yeah,
that wasn't tattooed teenage
Beverly Hills.
Alien fighter from Beverly Hills.
Yes.
Yeah, that was an odd one. So
let's see. JF says, Bad Batch, good or nah? I'm leaning more towards nah. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
I watched all of Bad Batch. It was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. But it's also one of those series where if you're like, it doesn't episode bait you like a lot of quote unquote streaming shows do these days. But if you're expecting like absolute action every episode, you might be a bit disappointed. Like, in fact, somebody best described it as just like kind of above average Saturday morning cartoon, at least for the first half. I will say though, the continuing subplot about that actually explains what happened to the clones and how the Empire eventually moved on to like just hiring regular, more ruthless citizens. That part was very well done. But other than that, it's go ahead and try it. Just like the first couple episodes are just a little on the cheesy level, I would say. So
okay. We got one alumni from the Monstrosities chat. We got Goji Shay in the chat saying, hey, can't stay, but I'm dropping in real quick. Thank you very much, Shay.
Nice to see you, Shay.
Let's see, and we got a lot of people coming in talking about Red versus Blue. One thing Red versus Blue series
for quite some time.
Yes, it is dead. Red versus Blue is fucking dead. Zero kill the series.
It was good. I liked it until I think I liked it until like 8 or 9, and then I realized that there's been like 17 seasons of it, and I was just like, you guys, there's nothing here.
Do you remember the season when the Red versus Blue guys are protecting another colony from invaders, I think?
Where they're fighting each other, essentially, and they don't realize it?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I remember like they went somewhere and they end up helping other people in another camp.
That's like 13 and 14, because essentially...
Okay, that's where I stopped. That was my
they get like broken up, and then essentially they find out that there's an overarching villain that has been like pitting these two sides against each other, and then it's to their sheer stupidity that they realize it, because it's like, oh, like this is bad and this is bad. It's just like, oh yeah, this is dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb. I was very sad because I think it's at the end of that season where you realize that the original people want nothing to do with that, because they all say like good, like the ending of that season is good because it's them saying goodbye to like the 1 or 2 last people who still voice things in there. Because I think that's what, is it Bernie? Because Bernie leaves. Where it's like the one character that's still like, oh yeah, I started Rooster Teeth, and now I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with this company anymore. I'm out.
Okay, just a quick aside. The show I was trying to think of, so I don't come off looking like a rambling idiot, too late, is Aku Misers. Aku Miser 3. which was a show from the 70s, and it was about these 3 demons from a subterranean world rebelling against their evil empire to actually help human beings. And one of the characters, like a big brawny creature, and while it's not the best looking costume, I could see kind of doing like a Hulk character that way through Tokusatsu. So,
okay. Don't know what any of that is, but sounds cool.
Ah.
I was gonna say, like S452, he showed me what the latest season of Red versus Blue was. They were trying to do like some family sitcom style. I'm like, oh no. And then like he showed me like a clip from like a recent season. It's like, oh no, they're trying to be all jokey, like Avengers Joss Whedon quippy style. I'm like, oh no.
That's a weird thing. Like it's kind of like Ruby, where like Ruby was kind of novel for like the first season, where Red versus Blue was just like, it's really interesting that they can do these things. Or like I remember watching the outtakes of the original season of Red versus Blue, where it's just like they're literally blowing up this tank to get it to land on top of the space, where it's like they're in game, like they're playing Halo matches in order to get this footage. And then it's like I think it's after like 8 or 9 where like 343, it's just like, hey, here's our assets, and just make what you want and forge. They're like, here's everything, so you don't even have to like care. And then after that it kind of lost the appeal, because it's like I can understand just being like, okay, blow up the tank, and like we got it. Yeah, actually, we had all those on DVD. Like we went to the Rooster Teeth convention.
We took my brother there for his high school graduation.
It used to be like a big deal, and now it's just like I want nothing.
Right before
all of the things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is William Shatner's wife ready?
Is he?
No.
I think I unfortunately.
I bet you once he comes on camera, he's gonna look like Phyllis Diller, which I kind of want now.
Andres, like 15 more minutes.
Andres, will you please brighten our days with your impression of Phyllis Diller?
I gotta come up with a bad pun here.
Okay, we gotta think of something.
Yeah.
Let's
see.
You mean I don't know.
Red versus Blue, more like Red versus Boo.
Yay! Computer guys.
S452 says Red versus Blue got bad when they went to Halo 5, aka I call that the dark ages of Halo.
Yes.
I still remember that fucking flowchart of all the tie-in media shows at San Diego Comic-Con 2015. If you need to understand Halo 5's story, oh fuck.
No.
See, that's the interesting thing. Like
you can Halo 5. It's just you like with the Haloverse. Just ignore that game happen. And it's perfect.
Awesome. That's the thing with like ancillary like tie-in material. It's like you want that extra material to enhance the world of the story, like build on top of the story, not be a replacement for the story.
Yes. It should be the embellishments. It should not be the crack filler.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I try to do with my own like Draco Azul books, where it's like the comics are the main story, available on Amazon, Comixology, and Kindle. And but meanwhile, this book right here would be made specifically for fans of the comic who wishes to know more about the details and the ongoings of the world. It's like you don't need to read this book to go into issue 2. Yeah. It's like I wrote the comic as the comic, and I thought to myself, what other stories can I fit in between this already finished story in my head? Since I left like 3 months between these 2 comics, timeline wise, I thought, okay, I'll just make up a bunch of stories to fit in between this story that I've already crafted.
Mm-hmm. It makes it cool when you're reading that, because it's like when you read before some of the Halo, like I read all the Halo books, and it was kind of like, oh, like this is cool, like it's kind of like mentioning stuff that I know, like it's like the it's like an Easter egg, and you're like a little hat tip. You're like, oh yeah,
yeah. And you did it in such a way where it's not obnoxious, like Hollywood movies, where it's like, we're not going to explain anything. Buy the spin-off calendar. Then we'll tell you why this is happening. So.
Right. And like the freaking, like, you got to read the novelization of Rise of Skywalker to know exactly how the hell Palpatine came back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what?
Like the GVK ones. Like you had to read the GVK novelization to understand why Charles Dance wasn't in it. It's just like, no, I just wanted Charles Dance in the movie, but like, no.
Or you just need to read the novelization to get a good version of King of the Monsters story. What was the other thing I want to mention? Oh yeah, and occasionally I do plan on making a slight reference to this book in issues 3, but it's only like here's a bunch of monsters Draco Azul fought in the past, and here are some monsters from that book, and it's like I've already established that the main character has been fighting monsters for several months, so it's like that's just a little Easter egg for those who have kept up with the Ancillate tie-in stuff. Let's see.
I think it was like a 90s maybe it was in like some of the mid 90s comics sometimes where it would be like they'd have the little times where like you need to find out how this character is just even in this panel now. Read this issue, connecting this issue, and you're like, well,
now they're at the end because I got that one. What is it? I got the Hulk book or no?
Yeah.
I have this one book where it's just like it's supposed to be this one-off and it's supposed to be a series. But it's like, do you want to know why these characters are these characters? Read this entire line. It's like,
okay. Let's see. Calder says, right, I'm going to bed now. We'll join the next live stream you guys do next time. Happy Halloween. Thank you very much, Calder. Thanks for joining us.
Happy Halloween.
Goodbye, sir.
JF also said, after Volume 8 of Ruby, I lost all investment in the show. Man, this is just like the fuck Ruby and Red versus Blue pod live stream.
Grayson, we need you now.
I'm still going to watch it, but I just don't like it.
We're not going to notice the earrings. Just come on.
What's that?
What?
I remember. Yeah. They did have like Rooster Teeth was making a mech show with David Tennant, and then like they got all the YouTubers to sort of like endorse it because they were like sponsored. They were sponsoring YouTubers so they can endorse it. And it's like you can watch the.
And you can watch like Max Velocity or like.
No. Let me check.
Max Force.
Teeth.
Well, and
Super
then
Mega Force.
And then
Ninja Fury
like a Gundam or some a Transformer.
Outer Limit Zoner.
Genlock. It was called Genlock.
Yeah, I was just like generate. Yeah.
I like my
and then Michael B. Jordan in it.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Because he likes anime.
I understood that reference.
And money, yeah.
That came out, and that was like, you can watch the first episode for free on YouTube, and then watch the rest of the series on Rooster Teeth's new streaming website, which I'm sure is already dead now.
Oh yeah, a lot of their stuff's dead.
Yeah,
they had horrible people.
It seems like Rooster Teeth was one of those things where like they were trying to grow so big to the point where they wanted to have like a media empire, except they can never make anything as big as like the thing that made them popular initially.
So a lot of the stuff with them is essentially like them wanting to seem like a media. It's because they were bought by a media empire because they were bought by Time Warner, and as soon as they were bought by Time Warner, they're just like, we have money now. We could make content. It's like that's not really kind of what we want from you. Like, we want your content. We don't want like, we've got money now. It's like, no, like,
we've got fuck you money.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of what it felt like. One of my favorite things they did was like a stupid sports podcast. I don't even like sports. But
what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, that was my favorite Rooster Teeth thing. It was called Sports Ball, but essentially they would just make it funny so you could actually endorse sports news, and it was funny. But yeah, it's just like they were just like, we've got money now. It's just like you had us at hello. You did not need to be like hello and here's $100. It's like
Let's see. I guess as we're waiting for Brayton,
I guess Diller over there.
We're waiting for Phyllis Diller. So it's like I'm guessing now would be a better time than any just to get sort of transition into Twilight Zone. So I did want to ask you guys, what was your first exposure to Twilight Zone in general?
Okay, I guess I'll go first.
Please, one at a time.
Yeah, right.
Go, Raph.
Okay, yes, here I go. Okay. So I'm a very old person, but in reality, though, hey, don't laugh. In reality, though, I'm sort of a child of the '80s when you used to have pretty much a good deal of like reruns and all sorts of bizarre shows playing throughout the day and the night. And the Twilight Zone back then, especially during like the 1985, used to be kind of a staple of syndication and regular local programming. I know our local KTLA Channel 5, they would always have a Twilight Zone marathon, although I forgot if it was for Thanksgiving or New Year's, but those was always fun to watch. And then sometimes they would play Twilight Zone in the middle of the day or early in the morning, just before the Saturday morning cartoons came on. And since it was one of the more interesting and readily available fantasy TV shows on television at the time, I would often watch it quite a bit along with my brother Miguel. We were both kind of Twilight Zone kids in that regard. Now, it's weird though. I think I enjoyed the Twilight Zone simply because of it being a fantasy anthology, as opposed to most people who just probably saw like 1 or 2 episodes and just liked it because those 2 episodes were spooky or scary or had like a dark ending to it. But no, me and my brothers, we even enjoyed the ones that were just simple dramas with a bit of a fantasy tinge, or even the comical ones that I know a lot of people despise and hate, unfortunately. And with that says, there was like we saw the classic episodes, and many of them are, they definitely stand the test of time and are classics and are right. Eye of the Beholder, for example, still an amazing half an hour of television. But then we also have like personal favorites, like I like Five Characters in Search of an Exit is possibly my all-time favorite episode of the Twilight Zone, and I'll be happy to get more into detail about that after our little play, because it has some major spoilers in there that I would love to share later, but not now. Unfortunately, the Twilight Zone, like I kind of regret not having any Twilight Zone DVDs or Blu-rays on me, other than some stuff I recorded off the television. And while it is available on Hulu, and Paramount, what is it? The CBS All Access. It does kind of suck that the Twilight Zone isn't readily available on television anymore for just people to generally find. And even if they do find it on television or other streaming services, it unfortunately is a crappy syndication package. So it's like this, like out of like almost 100 episodes, they keep playing the same 25 or less over and over and over again. And that's one of the things I can't stand about modern syndication packages. But yeah, it's such an amazing show, and had some incredible writers behind it. Not just Rod Serling, who was blazing a path through television by actually taking television seriously as an art form. Hence, one of the reasons he would always constantly say how much he hated commercials. Like, you're presenting a story about children dying because of poverty, and then it's like, how can you make the point when all of a sudden you have to cut to a commercial with dancing bunny rabbits? But yeah, and he knew how to find like really good like science fiction and horror writers of the day too, as opposed to like what's happened in the Twilight Zone recently with that CBS All Access reboot, which is just I hate that show. It's like it but I'll get into detail about that later. But yeah, it's amazing how they had people like Richard Matheson. It's, oh god, and even like for the original series, only to cut to like Saturday Night Live writers we barely even know, writing like incredibly stupid stuff that would even
modern Saturday Night Live writers.
Yeah, writing stupid stuff that would even fly as a sight gag on Family Guy.
The same people who thought dressing up Elon Musk as Wario was funny.
The same people who thought having Elon Musk period on a show was funny. So, and that's another thing about the original Twilight Zone. Such an amazing variety of like great actors, ones that we know, but also ones that were very were like character actor staples at the time. So yeah, just love the show immensely. I just regret not having the complete Blu-ray with me, the whole series that have because yeah, it's great that I now have Hulu thanks to my brother Gabe, but at the same time, it's like I'd rather have a physical copy to enjoy. And I do feel sorry for all of you in the audience who've never really checked out the Twilight Zone. Definitely do it, but I know that's kind of a hard sell, especially in this day and age. And plus, it's a black and white series, and for some reason, kids these days just despise black and white, like it was the plague. So that's all I'm going to say for now. So.
Okay. And for you guys, Nick and Laura, how did you come across the Twilight Zone?
like, you actually like this.
Yes. So growing up, I had always been a fan since like a little kid of what I thought was like horror growing up, and like a lot of classic shows. So I think I would always stay up late at night as we would do things like we would rent a movie and a video game, and I would stay up late and watch just random things. And I think it was something like Nick and Night around.
I feel like this was always on at like midnight. Like at some channel always had the Twilight Zone.
And I'll be around the time I'd be staying up, and I would find things like Twilight Zone, which later turned into me watching Tales from the Crypt. But I love watching the Twilight Zone because growing up as a kid in like the late 80s, early 90s, everything in horror was show and don't tell. Yeah, that's the right way to say it. And what I liked about the Twilight Zone was always about like an atmosphere. Everything in it is more about telling a story, I guess is the right way to say it, instead of just like, oh, it's a slasher, like everything is just a slash movie. So whether it was just horror, like Raph was saying, whether it was a comedy episode or something, it was more about just telling and building an atmosphere to me, and that's always the horror I liked. So I have a whole Lovecraft sleeve because I like.
Or like if you like this, you could play like Alan Wake.
Yeah, like Alan Wake, and that's all the similar type of, more of a theme that I like. Some of my favorite ones growing up is like some of the similar ones. I love like the Alien one, of course, like the guy who loses his glasses.
You said that was your favorite one. I asked him that today, and he's like, I don't want to say it, but I think it's the one where the guy.
It's just so dumb that I like it. It's just so dumb.
There's finally enough time. It's not fair.
But I would always just stay up late and watch shows all the time, and we read it. Oh, I meant reading Lovecraft.
What?
I just saw when you read it. Never mind. Anyway, but I've always loved Twilight Zone, and we do have the whole.
Oh, you lucky people, you.
Yeah, we have that in Tales from the Crypt, like some of the favorite like classic type shows, and I always feel like it holds up. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just.
I've only seen 2 full episodes of the show.
What a shame.
About time.
Like,
okay.
William
I was stuck in the Twilight Zone. I was trapped.
After an hour and a half, and you're not
right, and then you were stuck in the 4th dimension.
Hold on. Now, Andres, I couldn't come in drag. I just didn't have enough time. But I did come for you in Dragula.
Oh my god!
That is amazing. Love it.
No wonder it took you so long. You had to run down 3 miles to your local costume shop to get it.
Exactly right. Well, I was getting it pressed. It's a onesie thingy, pajamas.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Wait, pajamas.
PJs.
Are you secretly one of the werewolves?
I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire.
Oh no.
Yeah.
A party vampire.
Let's see. MJ saying Count
Oh.
Dracula dead and loving it.
Loving it. I do love it. Yep.
Nice.
What did I miss anything?
The Return of the King.
We were just talking about our experience with the Twilight Zone. I went over mine, which was pretty unspectacular. You know, kid watching monster movies every day. Nick, don't agree with that. Nick shared his.
No, I meant mine is the same. It's just kid watching.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So, by the way, your favorite episode is called "Time Enough at Last," and I just a quick add on to what you just said. Yeah, they don't do atmospheric television anymore. Like you might get some here and there, but the Twilight Zone, you know, you watch an episode of Twilight Zone, and not counting the season 2 episodes that were filmed shot on video, they did it feels like you're watching a short film as opposed to just a regular television episode.
The Twin Peaks stuff is very atmospheric.
Yes.
Like
especially with that wonderful black and white montage about how the evil from the other dimension enter our world after atomic explosion, because David Lynch. But Brayton, how did you get into the Twilight Zone?
The Sci-Fi Channel New Year's Marathon. They would show episodes. Yeah, I think that. Do they still do that?
No, I don't think they do. I think they just show a bunch of Harry Potter movies and call it a day. So
Yeah, I love it for all the same reasons. And yeah, most of them feel like short films again, because much like that was carryover with the 80s series, there were a lot of talented directors who worked on those. The episode that we're going to be reading and butchering tonight was directed by Richard Donner, who went on to obviously do Super. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Donner. Yeah.
I like Richard Donner.
Oh, he's great. Have you seen what is it? Not Somewhere in Time. Time After Time?
Well, yeah, that's H.G. Wells fights Jack the Ripper.
I love that
Jack the
song.
Ripper.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's I love that movie, especially.
I will get
Yes.
you. I'll be waiting.
No, not that one.
Time after time.
Not about you millennials.
Oh, I just realized, should I quote the Monster Squad here? I should say, "Give me the amulet, you little bitch." There, I did it just for that.
Yeah.
I did the costume just for that. Yes, to Boo, poor Boo.
You want to do that again? It was like,
No,
okay,
I'm fine, thanks.
all right.
We got Brumakian Production saying KaijuNoir streaming. What year is this? Yeah, ever since we used to Brayden and I used to do audio synchronicity like once a month, but then eventually we decided to retire that series, and so yeah, I've only done streaming.
Drove
I've
a
only
stake through its heart.
Yes, so I've only ever reserved.
You guys
streaming
told me it was up at
solely
a farm.
No, blood
we took
everywhere.
a shotgun to its face. I decided to before I would always reserve streaming for Halloween night, and so once audio synchronicity was done, I decided to do it as well. Just save this for such an occasion. Let's see.
S452. It's pretty unique, isn't it? Having all.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it makes it feel like the live streams will feel like more of an event. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's see. So 452
every
says,
Halloween you get to see our ghoulish faces appear on your computer set.
unless you see me over on Monstrosity After Dark, in which you can see this face.
Oh, that's
almost
true.
every
Cross
time.
promoting your live streams and making a universe.
What, no love for the bullshit we do on my show.
No.
Aw.
There's no.
Laura
visuals
was there.
I'm always there. I don't know why.
Yeah. Last time we spent 6 hours talking about butts.
Oh, which reminds me, I got you guys this Christmas present.
No. If you don't know what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen,
don't.
Okay, I was gonna give you a name, but no, I'll spare you.
No. I bought you guys a coloring book and glitter.
No.
Just say the Tingler, and they'll get the picture.
It's like a shocker, but different.
The one who tingles.
S452 says there was also the Twilight Zone audio dramas that Hollywood Video promoted the hell out of back when Hollywood Video was still a thing. I didn't know they did Hollywood Video did released audio dramas.
I know that there's plenty of audio dramas on YouTube.
Yeah, but there's the version of the drama of this one, and it has the guy from Dukes of Hazzard was
Boss Hogg
character.
Oh, that's
fun. The one that was in Smallville, he was the dad.
Never seen Smallville.
I know.
Boss Hogg?
If you okay. If you were to
Looks like the Deep Boys are about to see another monster on the plane.
If you try to find this episode on Amazon, for some reason this audio drama comes up instead.
I know there was quite a bit of Twilight Zone related radio plays that happened throughout the 80s and late 70s, but I never even knew that Hollywood Video tried to do audio dramas. What is this, Big Finish?
Let's see. Anything else about the Twilight Zone you wanted to share, Brayton?
It's spooky.
Yes, it is.
And we're glad that the 2019 revival died a slow, miserable death.
Yeah. Fuck that show.
Sorry, I guess, about that. No worries. Now, for me, I guess I probably have the weirdest way of being introduced to the Twilight Zone, that being through a Disney park. And
the Tower of Terror.
The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
The great Twilight Zone.
We got Valerie in the chat. We got another Monstrosities After Dark alum.
Okay. I was wondering. Okay, all right.
And we got Titan Goji in the chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, John Snyder was in that.
MJ has a very interesting question. Would you say The Outer Limits was Twilight Zone-esque?
Okay, I can answer that because I'm one of the.
I was expecting you to.
Yes, I'm one of the few people who will openly admit that he loves The Outer Limits and Twilight Zone equally. They were both like black and white film noir inspired science fiction anthology shows. But if I really had to separate them, I think The Outer Limits was more science fiction monster movie with more coherent stories, whereas The Twilight Zone dipped way more into fantasy and macabre, the macabre. Hence the reason they had a lot of comedy episodes, whereas The Outer Limits only had one comedy episode. And there are like the shows are often compared to one another, but I'd say the only real comparison to make is that they were both equally well done in quality, just for different reasons. I think that like if I had to pick one to put in the time capsule for the rest of the universe to see after mankind dies a horrific and sudden death, I would throw in the Twilight Zone. But for me personally, The Outer Limits has a little more. I like The Outer Limits a little more because I even had a much better experience with it growing up. And another thing I will say before we end this, a lot of people like to think the Twilight Zone is like filled with a lot of spooky monsters and all that, when in reality, Rod Serling hated monsters and tried his best to keep his stories as monster-free as possible. Even the stories that we think have monsters in it are just like relatively weird-looking humans or something. Whereas The Outer Limits went all out crazy with its creatures. Like it really was a true Monster of the Week show. So but yeah, I would not really say they're The Outer Limits is Twilight Zone-esque, but they are similar enough that I think you could enjoy them in equal tandem if you didn't have a Twilight Zone style, what up your bum. So.
Yeah, I mean, some episodes feel similar, but The Outer Limits was always, to me, more obviously obsessed with the science and more machine type things, rather where the Twilight Zone was more humanity and mankind focused.
Yeah,
about human flaws rather than spooky little bug aliens.
No, yes. Hey,
you and your Xanties.
Yeah, hey, the Xanties were voted as one of the most memorable monsters in
nobody cares, history. Ralph.
But they're not kaiju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MJ said, didn't they bring it back because of the success of the X-Files?
Ooh.
The new Twilight Zone?
Or The Outer Limits?
The Outer Limits. Because I know there was
yeah. Okay. He's probably talking about the 1990s revival of The Outer Limits. Yeah, that was brought to television because of both the success of the X-Files and the success of Tales from the Crypt. Both were fantasy-based scary shows that they thought they could bring back. Showtime originally had the 90s revival of The Outer Limits, but then that show got sold off to Sci-Fi Channel, and Sci-Fi Channel continued making new episodes. But no, I was talking about the original series. Like, I'm kind of mixed about the 90s series, but we won't discuss that any further.
Okay. I guess to continue where I left off. So yeah, my first exposure to the Twilight Zone was the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror attraction at Disney's California Adventure back in 2004. I didn't know what the heck the Twilight Zone was, but I loved the attraction so much. And eventually during that same year, my English teacher in middle school showed us 2 episodes of the Twilight Zone. I forgot why. I think it was probably because I think we were reading an excerpt from The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street in our textbook. Because like I guess all of you probably know, like in your English textbooks, you would have like excerpts from random stories or short stories or whatever. Yeah. Flowers from Algernon, or the one Ray Bradbury story about the house after a nuclear apocalypse.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So Monsters Were Due on Maple Street was one of those excerpts. And so my English teacher had a VHS tape, because this was still 2004. VHSs were still a thing. And it had 2 episodes. Oh, yeah. And also, yeah, all schools had like VHS tape players.
They still had that when I was in middle school. They'd wheel in the big black crate with the huge box on it.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
We're going to watch a movie today, kids.
It's going to be like an episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye's Twilight Zone.
Yes. So we saw Monsters Were Due on Maple Street.
The twist ending was he was an engineer the whole time.
And then after that episode, we watched I think it was the one with the plane, the people on the plane that time traveled to the time of the dinosaurs,
Oh, yeah.
and they try to get back home.
The Odyssey of Flight 401, I think it was called.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, I eventually got into the Twilight Zone because I started seeing episodes on the Sci-Fi Channel. And the one that always got to me was, I think it was called Eye of the Beholder. And that was the one with the woman born with the with a deformity. And so they were trying to, the whole episode, she was just trying to come to the terms with what may or may not happen if the surgery is not a success. And the ending and the twist reveal was like really impacted me in a way
she
that
turns
like
out to be the actress from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, so that's wow.
That's the deformity.
If
I swear to God, if they took the bandages off and it was Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies, it'd be a totally different story.
Oh, good. That would have ended horribly for everybody.
And so it was a really impactful series, and eventually I also saw the classic episode of Time Enough at Last. What I loved about this episode, I was very entranced by the Twilight Zone because it was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. I know growing up I was sort of aware of Tales from the Crypt, but I was too young to appreciate that show. So the Twilight Zone was my first exposure to like an anthology formatted TV series. And so I was like very mesmerized by the fact that you can have a different story with different characters exploring different concepts every single time.
Nice.
It was like to quote Forrest Gump, it's like a box of chocolate. You don't know what you're gonna get each episode. And so unfortunately, I would consider myself like still a casual fan of the Twilight Zone. I'm not like a religious watcher. I've only ever watched like a handful of episodes during my life. But I did definitely watch this episode, Terror at 20,000 feet, like years ago. Nightmare, thank you, Nightmare at 20,000 feet.
And we watched Horror at 25 or 30,000 feet, also with William Shatner.
Yes,
totally unrelated.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So it was super. It was very. It was always one of those like terrible things that like not terrible things, but like horrific situations. Because like I think when I first saw that episode, I was never on a plane before, but it's like being on a plane was still like a very scary thought for me. Now, having been on a plane many times traveling back and forth from Japan and America, just the idea of being stuck on a plane, knowing that this was like a very like being on a plane and knowing that like something could go wrong is like a very terrifying thought. I guess like especially in like a post 9/11 world, like the idea of flying could be considered a very serious thing. It's like it's kind of funny how to think that in this particular episode you're allowed to carry a gun on an airplane. It's like, yeah, the 60s was a very different time.
Yeah. I love that he can't smoke until they take off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
like, oh honey, not now. And I was just like, oh, and then like whenever I always get jealous just seeing like the scene where like they're probably in like regular seating and there's just 4 people in a row and I'm like, that looks so comfortable.
The good old days. Everything looks more sexy and attractive in the 60s.
It's funny with this episode. The plane itself was a prop from a motion picture, some other movie being filmed at the time, and they were on such a crunch that they had to film this entire episode in a 24-hour period. Like they filmed all night and the entire thing.
Oh my god!
Even including with the little acrobat on the outside, who was just a, I think a Czechoslovakian acrobat in a fursuit.
We can make a horrible joke that he didn't need makeup, but we won't.
No. Well, there's images out there you can see of like promotional images for the episode where he just has the makeup on and not the fursuit. So I wonder if that was like a last minute like addition. Like, wait a minute, guys, I've got a sheep back there that I need to clear.
It looks like a sad teddy bear house, and like, but so that's his lips aren't a mask. That's really his lips.
No. That's
it's some like prosthetic thing, but he's like smushing his face up.
He's got like Kylie Jenner lips. Like I was almost kind of jealous.
Yeah. He's the innovator of the duck face.
Yeah.
And guess what? We got our buddy Ace in the chat. Here, stopped by to say hi. Thank you very much.
Also, heyo, he says.
He's like, Ace also mentioned, if ever saw the Gremlin, I just say, "Get off my plane."
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So with we should maybe mention the remake of this episode in the movie also with John Lithgow, who I don't know how many people were around for the beautiful intro I put together of a duet of sorts between William Shatner and John Lithgow.
That was beautifully done. That was a lot better than I expecting.
Appreciate it, but I was never a big fan of the movie itself, or at least that segment of the movie. But I did rewatch that in preparation for this, both that and the episode back to back, and it's okay. I love John Lithgow. He's one of my favorite actors. I think it's just too manic and wild from the get go.
It looks more like a chupacabra.
Yeah, the
I mean, I'd be scared, more scared than John.
True.
It's
although
cool.
I don't know, seeing the guy in a creepy fur suit that would also freak me out as well.
But
it also seems like in this one, like the gremlin doesn't really care what it's doing. It just kind of like,
yeah, just kind of fiddles around and doesn't really pay any attention to the guy. But yeah, the original one, that's where it's at, people. And if you think that's creepy, Raph, why weren't you in a little fuzzy costume for tonight?
Don't worry, I have props.
He's always in a fuzzy costume.
I was like, please don't make him Turkish shirt off. Please no.
I thought
well, if you say so,
yeah. This is
movie version.
I still like the third rock from the sun joke. Like that's my favorite joke from that show.
It's awesome. It's a wonderful callback.
Like I saw something, I was like, so did I.
Yeah, and then there was the semi remake of this episode in I don't remember what I don't remember. Well, no, not talking about that one. I'm talking about Treehouse of Horror number.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about their attempt.
Other than the original, where Bart, the gremlin on the bus.
It was on the bus, is in the wheel of the bus.
Yeah, that was a really good episode, I gotta admit. And I love the direction of that episode because they really do make a school bus feel like this giant thing up in the air, just with a lot of clever camera moves and all that. So,
and I love how Otto's solution to getting the gremlin off is ramming the bus into Moleman's car.
Exactly. Oh, poor Mole.
Yeah, doesn't he crash and explode?
Yes.
He's like, oh no.
All right, so are we ready to get this live read-through started?
Yes, I'm ready.
I think. Hold on, I'll send because I did a little rewriting here. I'll send you this now.
Okay.
I would never dare fuddle with Richard Matheson's great story in his writing, but in the tradition of Fargo, the names of the characters have been changed to suit the personalities. And out of respect for the dead, but the rest has been told exactly as it occurred. I made no other alterations, I promise. So here we go.
Okay.
Let me share it in the StreamYard thing.
Oh, and we got ourselves a Sean Barry in the chat. I'm just gonna get more and more aggressive each time I say it.
You're gonna scare Bray.
Yeah, you got to build up the hysteria for when you freak out over
Dracula.
Brayton, are you going to be doing the kind of Twilight Zone opening or something of that nature?
Well, okay, so there are parts here we can go over. I will be playing Andres' wife, of course, because I feel like our experience on audio synchronicity has certified a certain relationship.
Absolutely.
I was really worried because I was the only lady that I was going to have to do that. And Andres is like, no, he's got it. I was like, okay.
There's only one man for the job.
There's only one man for the lady job. Raph, you will obviously be playing the stewardess. Raph will be the stewardess on the plane. No, you'll be the one. No.
I wasn't informed of this.
I like how in the script, the only names you put were Andres' and yours, and everybody else's is just the name of the character.
Yeah. Well, you know who you are.
Brain don't care.
Okay, but anyways,
as long as I can minimize as much effort as I can.
Let's get on target.
All right. Yes. So I will be the wife character. Andres will be the Andres character. Raph will be the gremlin, and Laura can be the flight attendant, not stewardess, and Nick can be the pilot, flight engineer. Okay.
But you wrote stewardess.
Okay,
so Richard Matheson wrote stewardess. I just didn't change it because I was on a time.
So you're respectful of the dead, but just not vaginas.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
that's my MO. Okay.
All right, let me know when we're.
Brain is never respectful of anyone.
Okay, so who wants to read? There are two other things maybe we should go over too.
Yeah.
Who's going to read the narration and the stage directions? Who wants to do that?
I'll take stage direction.
Okay, yeah, because the stewardess does have a lot to say.
Yeah,
in
Laura
this.
and Nick. Laura can take the stage directions. Nick, you want to take the Rod Serling intro?
Okay.
Are we going?
All right, awesome.
Are we ready?
Now, here's a question: do you want me to play the intro that from the beginning of the stream? Since we got like some people here might not have been around for that.
Okay, if you want. I don't know.
Yeah, just the first part with the Twilight Zone, so it matches.
Okay, the first part. Yeah, I'll keep the first part. Skip over the song. All right.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. So this is.
You can make my screen big to make the visuals cool.
Oh my God! Crimson Weirdo effect.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
You unlock this stream with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of live streams. A dimension of review roulettes. A dimension of Halloween. You are moving into a land of both Raph and Brayton, of Laura and Nick. You've just crossed over into the Robot Zone.
Thank you very much, Brayden, for that.
I smoked about 6 packs of cigarettes to get the Rod Serling voice down. Okay, let's do this then.
Okay.
Doomzilla says, "Hold on to your butts, people."
Spread 'em
It's
wide.
gonna be a bumpy flight.
Ooh. All right. So,
Act
we all ready?
one.
Okay.
Ready?
Just to let everyone know, because we're all going to be reading the script, we won't be looking at the chat for the time being.
So just treat this like it's a RAF video.
It's audio.
Dickweeds.
All right.
Why am
here
I
we go.
friends with you?
Because you have no other options, Ralph.
Okay.
We're here. We're ready.
All
And it's act
right.
one.
And full of beer. Okay. Yeah, just give me my cues when I do the gremlin. I'm ready.
All right. And you're go, Laura.
Okay. Fade in on an airplane cabin one dark and stormy night in the early 1960s. Airplane and crowd noise drown out much of the conversation between the passengers getting on the plane and the blonde, clipboard-carrying stewardess who carries the boarding passes. An uniformed policeman, possibly a sheriff, enters and the stewardess sees that he's wearing a gun on his hip. So he shows her his badge as well as his boarding pass. Oh, all right, fine. Enjoy your flight. The policeman heads for his seat. One passenger later, and a couple in
And a couple of it should be.
Impish.
Yes,
couple-
I made some alterations. A couple of just
of impish.
go with it. Yes.
couple if
Of
a
Imagine
couple
it's spelled
if
right.
short enter.
Yes.
You can just spell check. The policeman heads to his seat. One passenger later, a couple of impish dorks enter. This is Andres Perez and Brayton Connor. Andres gives the plane an apprehensive look while showing their passes to the stewardess. She clears them for the go-through. There's no assigned seating as Brayton, leading the way, points out a couple of likely seats for them to sit in.
Those all right?
Yes, that'll be fine. Here, give me that.
Oh, wait, we should say off Brayton's Dracula get up. Here, give me that.
Here, give me that.
He tries to take his cape, but Brayton defensively extends his jaw about 3 feet and snarls with enormous fangs.
Rawr!
Oh, never mind.
Andres stows his carry-on in the overhead bin. Andres and Brayton start to sit. Brayton on the aisle, Andres by the window.
Do you want me to sit next to the window?
No.
They sit. I'm fine. Oh wait, no, that's you again.
Yeah, that's me. I'm fine. I can sit.
Andres sees that he's seated by the auxiliary exit and tenses up.
Well, what is it? The emergency window? You want to move?
No. Doesn't matter. What's the difference where I sit? It's not the seat. It's the airplane.
Andres takes out a pack of cigarettes and starts to light up. Brayton notices the non-smoking sign is lit.
Don't smoke that now. Wait till the plane takes off, then pollute the air.
He puts his cigarette away. I'm not acting much like a cured man, am I?
Andres, you are cured. Dr. Martin wouldn't let you fly if you weren't, would he?
Suppose not.
I mean, if you weren't well, Dr. Martin just wouldn't let you fly all the way back home. It's just that simple.
Well, you make it sound simple anyways.
It is, Andres.
Hey, what am I complaining for? We're in first class, yo. This is bad.
Andres kisses Brayton. They hold hands.
Assuring him.
Drinking orange juice out of a champagne glass.
I thought that's what you were saying.
Is this what the people of Bel Air be living like?
After a short stare.
This might be all right.
Andres hugs Brayton. Brayton goes into anaphylactic shock. The loud thump of the cabin door slamming shut startles Andres. On the phone in the cockpit.
Cabin door secured.
Recovering. What? Now notices Andres' jumpiness.
What?
Just a little haptic cowardice, that's all. I'm gonna be all right. Had a teensy-weensy breakdown. Now I'm cured. Understanding. It's wonderful. It's the airplane. It isn't the airplane at all. Overtension and over-anxiety due to underconfidence.
The cabin light dims as the stewardess makes a final walk down the aisle before takeoff. Seatbelt, sir? A nervous Andres buckles himself. He glances around uncertainly, turns on the little lights above his seat, offers a smile to Brayton, and tries to stay calm.
Portrait of a frightened man, Mr. Andres Perez, thigh 7, husband, father, and salesman on sick leave. Mr. Perez has just been discharged from a sanitarium where he spent the last 6 months recovering from a nervous breakdown, the onset of which took place on an evening not so dissimilar to this one, on an airliner very much like the one in which Mr. Perez is about to be flown home.
A fast pan to an omniscient narrator in a suit and tie standing beneath an airport direction sign that reads terminal.
The difference being that, on that evening half a year ago, Mr. Perez's flight was terminated by the onslaught of his mental breakdown. Tonight, he's traveling all the way to his appointed destination, which, contrary to Andres' plan, happens to be in the darkest corner of the Twilight Zone.
Fade out. Fade on the unlit no smoking and fasten seatbelt signs at the front of the airplane's cabin. The seatbelt sign pops on just as the stewardess enters through the cockpit door just beneath them. She closes the door behind her and smiles at a few passengers, working a way up the aisle and eyeing everyone carefully. 2 passengers. Fasten your seatbelt, sir. The stewardess approaches Andres and Brayton. To Andres. Fasten your seatbelt, sir. Andres fastens his seatbelt. Cut to the plane flying through dark storm clouds. Lots of wind and rain and lightning and thunder. Cut to the cabin where Andres tries to fasten his seatbelt while he sleeps, only to wake her.
Should be him.
Sorry, buddy. Go back to sleep.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
I ain't your friend, pal.
I shouldn't have taken that sleeping pill. I should stay awake with you.
No, I don't want you to, friend. Go back to sleep. I'm all right.
I'm not your friend, pal. Can't you sleep?
I will. Don't worry about me.
Okay. Brayton.
Brayton escape over him and nods off. Andres turns to the newspaper. He glances out the window, which directly overlooks the wing of the plane. It's dark and rainy, but 2 prop engines are clearly visible. As Andres continues to stare, he spots something besides windswept rainwater moving on the wing. It looks as if it's the figure of a man, a bulky ape-like man, in a pimp hat and a dark coat sulking slowly across the wing. The wind ought to have blown this creature away, but it easily stands upright, unaffected by the weather and the airspeed.
Raph, you want to do some grizzly sulking or stalking noises up the air?
I'm on the airplane wing now. Long trip, but my arms are tired. What's this? Looks like one of those airplanes might like to rip apart. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nobody notices me. I hope not. Well, auxiliary window. No big problem. That's going to affect me later. Okay.
Andres is wild-eyed in disbelief. He turns to Brayton twice, but he's asleep.
He's asleep.
I tried. Why didn't
How
you
dare
edit
you
that
assume
part?
his gender?
Because he wrote the script.
Very good point.
But he's asleep. He looks out to the window. The creature squats and seems to be staring back at him, sort of taking an interest in Andres, the way a man might take an interest in an animal locked in a cage at the zoo. An alarmed Andres starts looking around for the stewardess. She's nowhere to be seen. Andres frantically pushes the button above his seat to summon her. He stops only to check the creature at the wing is still there. It is.
How you doing? I'm all still here on the wing. Little man in the ice cube thing? Yeah.
It watches Andres curiously. The stewardess enters the cabin and Andres beckons her.
Here, quick!
May I help you?
There's a man out there. There's something on the wing. Something strange.
Andres turns back. Yeah.
He's crawling on.
Andres turns back to the window. The creature's gone. Andres' eyes widen. He stares out on the window for a long moment and then turns apologetically to the stewardess just as Brayton wakes up.
Sorry. It must have been.
Andres, what is it?
Oh, it's nothing. Oh, that's you.
To Brayton.
That's you, Laura.
That's you, Laura.
You're the stewardess.
Oh, I was waiting for the other part. Oh, it's nothing, Mrs. Connor. Mr. God damn it. Why did you fix that part?
This is going like clockwork, guys. I'm just like...
Oh, it's nothing, Mr. Connor. Can I get you anything?
A glass of water.
Surely. The stewardess departs. Brayton rubs his eyes. Andres stares out the window and tries to come to grips with what he has just seen.
Is something wrong?
No, I thought I saw something out there.
What?
Andres realizes he can't tell him. He'll think he's cracking up. He shakes his head.
Nothing.
Andres closes the window curtain to block the view of the wing.
I guess I need a little sleep.
Are you all right?
Yeah, fine.
Checks his watch.
Don't you think you ought to take a sleeping pill now?
Rubs his eyes.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
Brayton digs the pill. Oh, I gotta find a
Brayton
man.
Brayton digs the pills out of his man purse as the stewardess arrives with a paper cup of water. Andres lets out a breath, trying to compose himself. Here you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can I get you a blanket?
No. Pal.
Brayton hands Andres a sleeping pill.
Sleeping
I'm not
pill.
your pal, fella! Oh, no thanks.
The stewardess leaves. Andres swallows the pill and the entire cup of water. Cut to the plane flying through dark, stormy clouds. More wind, rain, and lightning thunder. Cut to airplane cabin a little later, where Brayton is ready to go back to sleep.
Oh, you be all right now?
Yeah, fine.
Will you wake me if you need me?
I will.
Brayton shuts his eyes and dozes off. Andres takes a deep breath and shuts his eyes. But they don't stay shut. The thing on the wing is still bothering him. He glances at Brayton. Seeing that he's asleep, Andres hesitatingly lifts his hand to the window curtain. But he immediately lowers it, afraid of what he might see on the other side. After a long moment, he comes to a decision. Very slowly, he reaches for the curtain. Abruptly, he whips the curtain away to reveal the creature's hideous face! Pressed
How you doing? Yeah!
And Andres curiously. Andres freaks.
There's a
He
man
shuts his
inside
eyes,
that plane.
rears his head back, opens his mouth, and starts whispering to himself.
It isn't there. It isn't there.
But I am. Jim, look at my.
Raph, you got dialogue.
Oh, okay. Oh, I actually had dialogue?
Whooping.
Oh my god, okay. I thought I was just improvising this shit. Okay. Hold on.
Some of what you have been ad-libbing has matched up with what I've written. Though.
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
Wait,
What
you don't
page
actually
am I
have
on?
the Google Doc open?
I have it open. I wasn't expecting. I thought I was.
Why weren't you reading it?
Oh god, I ruined this whole thing.
We need a new gremlin.
Ralph.
Get the Czech little acrobat in here again.
Hold on.
How are you doing? Literally lined up perfectly.
Yeah.
I think it was more great knowing the graphics thing.
What page am I on?
You, Ralph. Page 9.
Are you serious? We're that far in? Okay. I was going the wrong
Fuck
direction.
you.
Okay.
Just go to the little flashing thing that says Brayton Connor.
Okay, should we start back? Where are we going to start at here? Andre said
No.
abruptly he whips the curtain away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
sure.
ready? Are we all on the same page, Raph?
Okay.
Literally.
All right.
Abruptly, he whips the curtain away to reveal the creature's
Hideous face!
pressed against the glass, staring at Andros curiously.
I'm sorry. Where am I again?
Fuck you.
In fucking La La Land.
No, seriously. Where am I supposed to be? I don't see.
Page 8. Page 8.
I'm on page. You told me page 9.
Look up ahead, you dingus.
Okay.
This is Brayton Connor. Just make it flash.
See, at this point, the ghost of Rod Serling is burning the script pages with his cigarette over frustration with your unprofessionalism, Raph.
Julia turns. Okay. Bob. Oh wait, you didn't change the names.
Julia?
I'm looking
You're
at
a creature.
The
No,
creature.
you're looking at the PDF. I sent a Google Doc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm on total
You're on the wrong document. You're on the wrong document.
Dancing
PDF
monkey.
The PDF is the original.
He
Richard
literally
Matheson
said, "How
script.
you doing?" And that's what Brayton had read out in the script, and he read it just the same to where he lied to us.
I just knew that he would say it at that moment.
Okay.
I know
All
you
right.
so
All right.
well.
All right.
Only
Now
you
I'm
use
ready.
your powers
Now
for
I'm
good,
ready.
Brayton.
Now
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Abruptly.
Abruptly, he whips the curtain away to reveal a horrible person pressed against the glass, staring at Andros curiously.
How you doing? Yeah.
Andros freaks. He shuts his eyes, rears his head back, opens his mouth, and starts whispering to himself.
It is there. It isn't there.
Ooh, I'm here and full of beer. A little hard to do, but man, root beer that is. It's in my gut. My gut gets heavy because of the root beer in my gut.
Andros opens his eyes, but does not look at the window, weakly to Brayton.
Brayton, would you wake up, Brayton?
But he's fast asleep, arms folded. Andros sees the creature hasn't moved. Panicking, Andros sees the stewardess. Gestures to the stewardess.
Quickly!
While Andros turns to the stewardess, the creature nonchalantly flies straight up and out of view. The
Let's see you do that,
stewardess-
Raph.
No, I'm doing it right now.
Bye. See you later.
If only he could leave. If only. The stewardess arrives just as Andros turns back to the window. Yes, Mr. Perez? Andros doesn't respond. He's staring out the window at an empty wing. Can I help you, Mr. Perez? Andros tries to regain his composure.
Are we going into a storm?
Just a small one. Nothing to worry about. The stewardess walks off. Andros shuts his eyes and tries to get a grip to Brayton.
Brayton, would you wake up, please?
As he says this, the creature flies down to the wing and lands just behind one of the engines. Andros sees it as he lands and his eyes meet. Andros watches and winces as the creature saunters forward, sits casually astride the engine, pokes curiously at the rapid spinning propellers with his fingers. The creature backs away from the propellers and begins to pry up a
cowling plate.
Cowling plate that covers the engine. Andros stares in horror as the creature easily pulls up the metal plate to reveal the hot, glowing engine underneath. And as it does so, the creature shoots Andros a glance, fade out to a terrified Andros mouthing the words,
No. Really?
End of Act 1.
That's an in joke.
Are we ready?
One of these days, Brain has to show Nick and Laura that clip.
Absolutely.
I actually had a line in mind for the scene where when the monster like dips
suggestions after the table read, Raph. Now that you're on our page.
Right.
All right.
Thanks for being prepared.
I was prepared.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, you were ill prepared.
Yeah. Prepared still in that statement.
Yeah.
Okay. Fade in on the plane, flying through dark starry clouds.
Shut up, Raph.
Still more wind and rain and lightning and thunder. Cut to Andros trying to awaken Brayton.
Buddy, or friend, or pal, Spock, Brain, wake up.
Brayton wakes up at the start. Andros turns to the window just in time to see the creature take off into the air. Brayton, of course, fails to see anything.
What are you looking at, Andres? Is it the storm? Does it bother you?
No. Remember what I told you before about seeing something outside?
Yes.
Brain, there's a man out there.
Brayton gives Andros a blank, uncomprehending look. Thunder roars.
Roar!
Roars.
With Tippy Hedron.
I don't mean a man. I mean, I don't know what I mean. I mean, maybe what do you call them during the war? You know, the pilots. Gremlins. You remember the story of that.
Brayton just stares at him.
Gremlins.
Oh, sorry.
Brayton just stares at him.
Brayton, don't look at me like that.
Andres.
I'm not imagining it. He's out there.
Brayton glances at the window.
Don't look. He's not there now. He
realizing all too well how crazy this sounds.
He jumps away whenever anyone might see him. Except me. Honey, he's there. I realize what this sounds like. Do I look insane?
No, Andres. No.
I know I had a mental breakdown. I know I had it in an airplane. I know it looks to you as if the same thing's happening again. But it isn't. I'm sure it isn't. Look, the reason I'm telling you this isn't just to worry you. You know I didn't tell you before.
Oh, well, I want you to tell me.
I'm just
going to do the entire rest of the thing sarcastically. Go
Mouse abuse, yeah.
I didn't tell you before because I wasn't sure if it was real or not. But I'm sure now it is real. There's a man out there. Or a gremlin or whatever it. If I described him to you, you'd really think I was gone.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Brayton, I know your intentions are sarcastic. I know you tolerate me. Sympathize with me. But don't patronize me. I'm not insane.
Did I say...
Does it have to be said? It's in your face. It's in your... Look, for the last time, that creature's out there. And the reason I'm telling you this is he's starting to tamper with one of the engines. Look. Think anything you want. Think I belong in a straitjacket. If it pleases you.
If it pleases me?
No, I didn't mean that. What I mean is, whatever you think of me, that I'm losing my mind, everything, all I'm asking you to do is to tell the pilot what I've said. Ask them to keep an eye on the wing. If they see nothing, all right, then I'll commit myself. But if they do...
Brayton tries very hard not to look at Andres as if he were a madman.
Won't you even allow the possibility?
I'll tell them.
Brayton unbuckles his seat, rises, heads down the aisle to the cockpit door, and urgently knocks. The stewardess rushes to him in the rear of the plane. Mr. Connor, what's the problem? May I help you?
Oh, yes. That psycho wants to see the flight engineer.
Oh, right. If you'll stay right here, I'll have him see you.
Oh, thank you. It's very important.
Still in his seat, Andres glances out the window just as the Gremlin lands on the wing.
Hurry, please.
I'm back. How you doing?
Andres watches the creature as it reaches to pry with the cowling plate again. Cowling plate again.
Wow, a crowling plate. This is used to keep the engines inside the plane. We learn a new fact every day. Now it's mine. I'm going to sell it to the giant sky jellyfish for scrap. Oh, yeah. I'm a gremlin.
A magua, even.
Hurry! Hurry!
The flight engineer stands talking to Brayton at the cockpit door. He rushes over to Andres. Brayton follows to the flight engineer.
He's out there!
What's going on?
He's pulling on one of the cowling plates.
No, I'm
not.
Didn't my friend... There's a man out there.
Listen, keep your voice down.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what's going on here.
Will you look?
Mr. Perez, I'm warning you.
Will you please look? In the name of...
Andres, Brayton, and the flight engineer all peer out the window at an empty wing. The cowling plate appears untouched. A long pause.
Well?
Oh, now, wait a minute. I saw him pull that plate up.
Brayton and the flight engineer look just as at Andres with the blank stares. Insistent.
I said, I saw him put that plate up.
Mr. Perez, please. All right, you saw him, but there are other people aboard. We mustn't alarm them.
Surprised.
You mean you've seen him too?
Of course we have, but we don't want to frighten the passengers. You can understand that.
Of course.
Oh, should say Andres, you're not Bob. Damn, Richard Matheson got me again. Okay.
That fucking hack.
Andres suddenly realizes he's just being humored.
I understand.
Now, the thing we got to remember.
You can stop now. You can stop now.
Andres.
Sir.
Get out of here.
Mr. Perez?
I said you could stop.
Oh, Andres, what is it?
Turns away from them.
I won't say another word. I'll see us crash first.
Andres.
Mr. Perez, try to understand our position.
Look, you little jerk. I'll be right back.
Brayton and the flight engineer head to the back of the plane, leaving Andres to bang his fist into his temples. Whispers to himself.
He did pull it off. He did.
In the rear of the cabin, the flight engineer hands Brayton some pills, sedatives. Meanwhile, Andres watches as once again. Fuck you.
These will knock him out. These will knock him out real good.
I'll give you the pudding pills. The pudding pops.
Trust me, I've used them myself. Not on me.
I guarantee.
Not now.
The sweater seal of approval.
No, stop.
Carry on.
In the rear of the cabin, the flight engineer hands Brayton some pills, sedatives. Meanwhile, Andres watches as, once again, the gremlin pulls up the cowling plate. Andres looks back at Brayton, realizing he can't say anything, and pounds his fists into his chair. Brayton starts to walk back down the aisle to Andres. Andres turns back to the window to see the gremlin, on cue, playfully stick out his arms and fly away. Brayton sits down. Brayton sits down next to Andres.
Look, I was going to tell him when you...
Were you?
Brayton hands Andres the sedatives and a cup of water.
For me?
Please, Andres.
Andres puts the pills in his mouth, drinks the water.
You'll sleep. You'll sleep now.
Sure.
The two of them lean back in their chairs, and an uneasy silence ensues. Andres closes his eyes, and a deeply concerned Brayton gazes at him. The flight engineer makes his way down the aisle and confers with the stewardess.
Oh, boy. I can't do Mickey. Oh boy.
Does it say that?
No, it doesn't. It's just what I pictured.
You were the flight engineer before.
I know. Flight engineer. Oh boy.
What'd you do? Get his wife to give him some of those pills?
He'll be out for hours.
Well, I hope so. The way that storm's coming up.
Don't worry, Betty. Everything's fine.
I hope so.
And who is Betty? Or so they think.
Brayden, I can't read it when you do that.
I'm sorry, I'm following along. Okay.
The stewardess heads to the rear. The flight engineer heads to the cockpit. Brayden sleeps. Andres sleeps. But he only appears to sleep. He opens his eyes and looks out the window. Nothing.
Nothing.
Where'd he go? This part? Mm-hmm. Oh, he put his hand on his mouth, removes the unswallowed sedative from his cheek, just as the gremlin flies down to the wing. Andres reacts by throwing the sedative on the floor in disgust.
Yeah.
Can't read it when you do that, Brittany.
Okay.
The gremlin immediately pries up the cowling plate and starts tinkering with the engine. Andres looks around.
If I switch these wires here, everything's going to be good. Yeah.
Suddenly, his eyes fall on the holstered gun of the policeman, who sleeps in the aisle seat a few rows ahead of Andres. Andres formulates a plan. He unbuckles his seatbelt, rises, and slowly walks down the aisle toward the sleeping policeman, clearly intending to steal the gun. But before Andres can reach the seat, the policeman shifts his arm, covering the holster. Andres backs off, turns, and pulls out a pack of cigarettes. The policeman moves his arm off the gun, and Andres makes his move, pretending to drop the cigarettes in the aisle.
Oh
no!
Oh no! Oh,
did I do that?
Fingers.
Andres kneels down and recovers the pack, then gently lifts the gun out of the holster and hides it in his jacket. Quickly returning to his seat, Brayden, come on.
I realized. Okay, I stopped.
Your name literally covers up whatever text you're looking at.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, you're confusing even me. More so than usual.
Andres draws the gun and then stops. The gremlin continues its inevitable sabotage operation on the engine. Andres realizes he can't shoot through the plane window. He sees the auxiliary exit handle and knows he must open the door to get a clear shot. He pockets the weapon, buckles himself in. He's about to draw the gun when he thinks of Brayton's safety.
Brayton, would you get me a glass of water, please?
Brayton wakes up with a start, surprised to find Andres awake.
A glass of water? Please, hurry.
Without a word, a confused Brayton heads to the rear of the plane and talks with the stewardess. Seeing that she's safely in the rear of the plane, Andres draws the gun, releasing its safety catch, removes the plastic guard from the auxiliary exit handle, and takes one last look around, notes the location of the gremlin, still leaning over the engine and steeling himself, releases the emergency door. The door flies off instantly, and Andres is nearly sucked out. His seatbelt barely securing him to the plane. Great. The stewardess and everybody else on the cabin start screaming.
Loud noises.
No, please, I just want to crash the plane. Put the gun down, Mr. Andres. Oh, God, no.
I've got so many things to do. No. Andres, in excruciating pain, half in his seat, halfway out the door, is pressed against the outside of the airplane by the tremendous winds, trying to get a two-fisted grip on the gun, to bring it in, to bear it on the gremlin. The startled creature stands a few feet away and starts walking toward Andres. Slowly.
What's that you got in your arm? Doesn't look so friendly.
So slowly, Andres struggles to aim the weapon. The creature's closing in. With Herculean effort, Andres aims and fires, emptying the gun into the gremlin. It topples down
you son of a bitch!
Andres, you want to or Raph do some dying noises for that?
Okay.
Oh
bang,
my God!
bang,
I've been
bang,
shot. Why?
bang,
My only crime
bang,
was
Monday.
to kill people
bang,
by
bang,
sabotaging the
bang.
plane. I hate Mondays. Oh God! Oh, this world is lost without the last remaining gremlin. Now count my extended family over 68 billion other gremlins, but I consider myself a spectacular individual. Isn't that right, Ayn Rand? Yeah. Oh God, my beautiful gremlin foot is being obliterated by an endless suggestion of bullets. Oh, why?
I think I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Get it out. Get it out.
Okay.
Oh God, I've been shot. Why? Oh, look at me.
After
my
the
name.
sixth shot, Andres lets go of the gun and screams. Cut to the inside of the
Me too.
Damn!
Damn! You win this round, Miss Andres, but I'll be back in the movie.
Robots. Oh, cut to
Oh!
Robots. I always wanted my last words to be Robots. The inside of an empty cabin. Sometime later that night, all is quiet. The policeman puts his hat on. A peaceful, smiling Andres, straight-jacketed and strapped to a stretcher, is carried down the aisle and out of the plane by two attendants. Cut to an airport runway at night, seconds later. The plane is on the ground. The storm is over. The policeman silently leads the stretcher bearers, and Brayton off the plane to a waiting ambulance in a police car. The policeman radios. The flight engineer and the stewardess watch the preparation to load Andres to the ambulance. To the stewardess.
Nuttiest way of trying to commit suicide I've ever heard of.
Brayton stands over the stretcher, comforting Andres.
It's all right now, Andres. I smuggled some peanuts off the flight. Everything's going to be okay.
A triumphant Andres struggles to sit upright.
I know. But I'm the only one who knows. Right now.
Tired but happy, Andres lays back down. But all too suddenly, the falling body of Raph the Gremlin plummets from the air, crushing him flat.
Oh my God!
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Oh my God! Whoops and doodles.
Really?
Eventually, Raph recovers, surveying the damage.
Oh my God! Looks like I got something on my butt. Oh wait, I actually have lines. No, I don't.
No, you
The line
did
rap
it.
is whoopsie
Did he
doodle.
say it? He said it without reading it. Brayden,
Sorry,
use your powers for good.
I know. I'm like clairvoyant, but only for Wrath.
Okay, I'm severing the damage. Oh wow! I think I fell on top of something. I wonder who it was. Oh well.
And then you say whoopsie doodle.
Yeah, the line Wrath is whoopsie doodle.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is worse than the time Jack Hodgson hit me with a sex ray.
Break
It's
it?
whoopsie
Okay.
doodle.
Whoopsie doozy. Whoopsie
No!
Whoopsie doodle. Whoopsie doodle. Whoopsie.
The flight of Mr. Andres Perez has ended now. A flight not only from point A to point B, but also from the fear of recurring mental breakdown. Andres has that fear no longer.
Slow pan from the ambulance to the plane's wing, where the pried out calling plate is plainly visible. With a bribe sandwich placed inside, perhaps the gremlin climbs into it.
No, climb inside the sandwich.
Let him eat a sandwich. Then. Let him eat a sandwich.
Let him eat a sandwich.
Okay.
Go ahead. Chow down.
Though for the moment.
Oh, okay.
Fried sandwich with money in bread.
No, I'm doing this. Shut up, you.
Yeah.
Oh my! I've been fasting for several weeks to keep my girlish figure in check. But you know what? Now that I've done the Rod Serling diet plan, it's time to have a bribe sandwich and a big one, a nice 13-footer. Oh my God! What if I got myself
myself into. Yum 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 yum. I do love prime sandwiches. I'll save the rest for later.
Woo. I'm so sorry.
Though for the moment he is, as he has said, alone in this assurance. Happily, this conviction will not remain isolated too much longer, for happily, tangible manifestation is very often left as evidence of trespass, even from so intangible a quarter as the Twilight Zone.
Fade out.
This is a menace.
That's the outro song for the live stream.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Can only
We'll
imagine.
survey our casting options, Raph, but we'll call you.
I ain't coming back. Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Wait, who called me a piece of shit this time?
Who do you think?
That's my catchphrase, you piece of shit.
You kiss your mother with that mouth. You.
We got looking at the comments. We got Jim in the chat saying "Respect y'all and long live Big G." Thank you very much, Jim. Let's
Big
see.
G is Big Gremlin.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Dirty McGruption.
Yes.
S452 said, "Rap can see the future."
Like, in the year 2000.
Rap breaking character since 1983.
Yes, in 1983, when I was 3 years old, that's when I first did my production of Shakespeare.
Ace says, "Of course, Raph would be on the wrong document."
You guys,
I can't
to be
stop
fair,
laughing.
To be
you guys
fair, you shared both of them, Raph, so you can't say that.
How you doing? Get off my plane. That's really.
I'm not your buddy, pal.
I would have loved the.
Frozen.
I would have loved it. I would have loved it if the monster sounds more like Rich Macho Randy Macho Man Savage.
You should get your coat.
Oh God, it's so hot right now.
Get your other coat.
Monkey. Monkey. Mental note: don't laugh while eating coffee.
I'm so sorry, Doomzilla.
Yeah.
I was too busy writing a fanfic. What happened?
We wrote
Twilight
a fanfic,
Zone.
is what happened.
We wrote a
Yes.
fanfic. Yeah, it was.
That's right.
It went as well as
Mocha
every
Man.
other fanfic.
Mocha Man.
Mocha Man, take me.
I feel like that's
Take me to the hand.
Macho Man, but like really like Starbucks. He's like, I'm all about the venti latte,
But the cream of the crop.
cream of the macchiato.
No cream, no sugar, yeah.
You know, there really should have been a scene where it's like you can't see the monster, but then when Andres looks back, the monster does, "Hello, my lady. Hello, my
Hello, my
darling.
darling.
Hello,
Hello, my
my
ragtime gal. Send me a plane, my wife. Baby, my engine's on fire.
Literally, yeah, monkey flying in the wind.
This sure beats my fan fiction. Of course, because it didn't have miscorruption and bribe sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That was
well,
stupid.
I like about that so much is it doesn't, the actual episode doesn't end on a downbeat thing. It's, the little epilogue right at the end there says that his lone knowledge of the event won't be lone for that long. So it's not like he just gets hauled off to an insane asylum and is locked away forever. He probably still faces some heavy criminal charges for shooting out an airplane. But
And smoking.
What you gonna do?
But it is one of those like rare, like almost happy endings. Like it's a bittersweet ending, but it is like a very positive result by the end.
Like, how many Twilight Zones have happy endings?
Well, the truth is, the Twilight Zone has had plenty of happy endings, but unfortunately, the more famous episodes always ended on something scary and creepy, and then people generally
or just depressing, like Time Enough at Last.
Yeah, but it's funny too because I think more people remember the Twilight Zone for all the scary stuff than the actual stories themselves. Like a good example is that Eye of the Beholder and the one with the the shop at midnight. You know, with the mannequins.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they do end on bittersweet notes, but they don't end on traumatic, horrific notes. And yet, most people are so terrified by the events that happen within the episode, they tend to ignore the quota of the episode. So, and that's one of the reasons I can't stand the last Twilight Zone episode we have. Nick, you said you were hot.
Am I hallucinating, Mothra Man?
It's Mothra Man, Mandy Savage.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Look, he even brought a Tobey Maguire with him.
Oh, I got you for 3 minutes.
Spider Dog, Spider Pup.
There was a lot of episodes of the Twilight Zone that kind of ended on a happy note.
Well, even 5 Characters in Search of an Exit ends on a somewhat sweet note with his narration at the end saying that they won't be forgotten toys for much longer.
Yeah, they're going to be okay. So these kids are going to be okay. So despite still being in hell.
We really are in hell.
And Les S452 brought up to serve man. That's a dark ending right there.
Yeah, definitely.
The guy just like looks.
Unless you're a cannibal.
Like the main character just looks dead in the eye right at the camera, saying like, "What would you do in this situation, pal?"
I'd be a tempting 3-course meal is what I would do. That would be delicious.
Yeah. Jeff said my favorite episode will always be Night of the Meal or Meek. Night of the Meek.
Night of the Meek. Yeah.
I like Night of the Meal though. It's a sequel to Serve Man. It's Night of the Meal.
Well, I just spent all night giving presents to kids. Time for a sandwich.
Yeah. A bride sandwich.
Which is money in bread. Like a sandwich.
Yeah, Brayton, when you're doing
a Santa bribe sandwich, which is a sandwich filled with cookies and milk.
For Santa, which is me.
Brayton, when you're doing
and like my belly, it shakes like a bowl full of jelly.
Cause I'm Santa. Yeah.
Are you done?
Ho ho smos.
All right. Anyways, okay. No, Brayton, when you were doing that weird thing where you look like you were bloated and about to explode, was that your impression of Art Carney? Art Carney from Night of the Meek?
No, from the Star Wars Holiday Special. That was my impression of Art Carney. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool then. All right, and let's see. So I guess we will probably, since we're nearing the 3-hour mark, we should probably finish up very soon. But I would like to take just the last couple of minutes to answer any questions the audience would have for us, and before we close out the night. So I'm gonna say we started roughly around 6:30 p.m. in California Pacific Western time. And so 3 hours later, now it's roughly it should be around 9:30 p.m. over there. So by this time, trick-or-treating has probably started to wrap up. Everyone's starting to go back home.
Actually, I'm looking outside right now. It's a bunch of really pissed off little kids turning over cars and demanding more candy. Oh, they got my neighbor Jim. Okay, let me head here. Okay, this ain't good. All right.
They got my jungle gym.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brayton.
I don't know what you're trying to figure out on just what time it was. You just have to ask Brayton.
It's 11:31 in Iowa.
Yeah, so by now, trick-or-treating has very well ended over in Iowa.
Ringing your door at this point in time, don't answer it.
No. It's Donald Pleasance pulling his shenanigans, is what that is.
Let me in. I want some candy. I'm bold and thespian.
So any questions? No limits? Sure, any questions about any topic.
Any questions? Outer limits.
Yes. JS says, can I explain what Better Man is? We already know what Better Man. I think maybe in a previous stream on Raph's stream, you or someone else explained what Better Man was.
Mm-hmm. Is that an Ultraman parody? It has to be.
No, almost. It's like some. Okay, yeah. I guess Ultraman if Ultraman.
He's going to explain it now.
It's Ultraman if Ultraman was a kaiju instead.
Yeah,
and it's an anime
and overtly depressing, like the modern writers of Twilight Zone.
We've got Ultraman. Well, we've got Betterman. Well, we've got Super Uber Awesome Dude, and
Superman.
Like from there. Yeah.
Do you know that cows go moo? Really?
Oh my health! Thank God! I didn't know.
I don't know why he keeps bringing that up.
I saw a dyslexic cow go Omo once.
Oh.
Yeah, Omo. Yeah.
What got you in?
Over one time definitely didn't go moo.
Let's see. What got you into kaiju? Now, this might surprise everyone, but what got me into kaiju was Godzilla movies.
I thought it was noir films from the 1940s.
I thought
like
the
Shadow of a Rodan.
Yeah. The Third Man, right?
I thought you were just a hardcore Mothra fan, and you're just like, you know what? There's other ones.
No, it was the Thin Man. I saw giant Orson Welles. I'm like, giant monsters are cool.
Oh, I thought it was The Third Head with Ghidorah is what got you into kaiju.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah, famous.
That's a good pun.
Thanks, Rap.
You're welcome. I'll get you a gold star next time we meet. Right on your forehead.
That doesn't involve touching, though. It always involves touching.
Okay.
Unless anyone else has an answer for this question, that isn't just Godzilla.
Well, I think like a lot of I won't go too much into it because we could go for here for hours. But like a lot of kids, I grew up enjoying dinosaurs. But as cool as dinosaurs are, I was like, I wish there was something a little more insane and ridiculous that we could add to these dinosaurs. And of course, there was barely anything related to dragon fiction. Granted, though, growing up, in addition to watching a lot of dinosaur related media and dinosaur documentaries, there would be like gateway kaiju-ish films like Jack the Giant Killer, Warlords of Atlantis, movies that didn't really have kaiju in them, but you could see where a little bit of kaiju-esque stuff would go into. And then I was so lucky because I started watching The Outer Limits with my dad, and that's kind of got me eased into monster movies. And then my local Channel 13, they had a New Year's Day Godzilla marathon with all the UPA Godzilla films. And I always heard of Godzilla, but it was never like any serious discussion. It's like, I'm going to finally see what these Godzilla movies were. And it was pretty amazing for me as a little kid because it was like, holy shit, holy crap, fucking amazing. These things are like the Saturday morning cartoon shows I watch, but they're live action and big budget, and the characters aren't pretending this stuff is fiction. So
I buy that for $900.
Yeah, so I'm so glad my story.
That was the budget.
Yeah. So are you guys okay? Are you getting tired over there, Nick and Laura?
I
almost said Nora again, but I said Nick.
Of you.
Nora.
Just
let's see. Anyone else? Nope.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You put it.
Next question. What do you think about the 2003 Clone Wars show? Is that the Genndy Tartakovsky one?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. If so, it's amazing. I love it. Tartakovsky can do no wrong. I recommend it. I fully endorse it.
Did you do an episode of Fully Endorse?
We did not.
Okay.
No, we didn't. Because both of us, Dylan and I, have both seen it and both equally love it.
Okay.
Anyone else saw the Tartakovsky Clone Wars show?
Just for next time, Raph, if you hold it with your other hand, you don't see the flashlight.
Good idea.
You're welcome.
Tron!
Try drinking from the flashlight next time.
Just drink that battery. Just drink that battery acid.
Screw you.
You could be like your stepmom from My Stepmom's an Alien and just suck down those double Ds. I mean, those deep batteries.
I'm like, whoa.
What?
Hold on, what?
Oh, you never saw that movie. It's not good.
Yeah, Raph, tell us the story of My Stepmom's an Alien.
What have you? What?
Never mind.
Okay.
All right. S452
Dan Aykroyd gets laid with a worm? I don't remember.
S452 says, have you seen any speculative evolution documentaries like Alien Planet or The Future is Wild? I have seen both, and I love them. I grew up watching them all the time ever since I got those DVDs from the Discovery Channel store.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess what he's mentioning is like any mockumentaries covering fictional life forms.
Yeah, speculative evolution, it's sort of a mixed bag for me, but as a fan of giant monsters, it's an it has plenty of those elements all around it. Alien Planet is very well done. It's actually based on a beautiful art book called Expedition, I think it's called.
Yeah.
S452 will probably correct me in the comments. But yeah, they took that and turned it into a pretty decent CGI film. Of course, when I got it, I didn't buy it directly from the Discovery Store. I got it through like Amoeba Music secondhand shops. And it was so cheap, I bought a bunch of them and gave them as Christmas presents. Almost everyone I knew who were kaiju fans enjoyed it. Futures Wild is pretty interesting, but the CGI on that is pretty poor.
Yeah, I'm mostly fascinated by its concepts more than the animation quality.
Well, that's just a quick question for you, Andres. Okay, I kind of got into speculative evolution just as a deep dive recently, since everyone's going nuts over All Tomorrows. Is it just me? Yeah. Okay, these creatures are very interesting. There's some cool concepts going on. I do agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But is it just me, or like a lot of speculative evolution creatures are just ungodly ugly? It's like
I think the idea is they want to create creatures that have no connection to anything on Earth, especially if you're making something alien, like in Alien Planet. So it's like they're trying to create a brand new evolutionary line from the ground up. Whereas, we all, whether it's like mammals, reptiles, amphibians, we all come from one single like basic structure of a four-limbed creature. And I guess for these other speculative evolutions, they're trying to go into like wild directions.
Okay, because it's not really. I totally understand what you're saying. You're correct, but it feels like when they design these creatures, like they always make them like hideous, like. There's like no peacocks in the future kingdom. They're all
maybe. Hey, what if they're not ugly? They're ugly to us, but they're not ugly to each other, huh?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right. Maybe we're the ugly ones, Ralph.
Right. And it's us chasing down one of those giant super evolved turkeys from a Futures Wild until it bumps into another one of its kind. Don't worry, we'll take you to a colony with people just like us.
All right, so moving on.
I've watched some speculative mockumentary things. I've watched the Max Rebo mockumentary. This is Spinal Trunk. That's my.
Is that real, or are you joking?
No.
Okay, because I was that close. Like, tell me where I can watch this now.
There was also it was something like Alien Planet. There was a documentary series on Netflix that was like Alien Planet, except it was ungodly boring, and the animation, while interesting, was like super short. It's like 5 minutes of animation and then 20 minutes of people talking about the animation.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next up. Have you seen Soul Eater? I have seen that anime, and I really enjoyed it. Perfect Hollow. It's like Tim Burton's anime. If there was ever a Tim Burton anime, this would be it. Next up.
Does he cast his wife in that too? Or is that I'm thinking of Rob Zombie.
Yeah, Rob Zombie casts his wife and everything. Tim Burton casts his current girlfriend and everything.
That's right.
And his I was gonna say Johnny Depp.
Danny DeVito? He was in Dumbo.
No, like for a while he was with oh god, what's her face? The British girl. She was in oh damn it.
So
Helena Bonham Carter.
Nick is yelling.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, Sarah. We'll call her Sarah.
Helena.
Crookshanks, Raph. Crookshanks.
Yeah. Say the name of the cat.
No.
Let's see.
Helen, and then before, and now it's Ava Green. Whatever. I can't get
Ava Braun.
Anyways,
yeah. Anyways,
what's your favorite Super Robot Wars games? I played several, but T would be the first one I played through the whole way, so I'll just default to that. Is it Baz the 3-hour? I'm not sure what he's referring to there.
Pendragon.
What? Oh yeah, this is like it was like a 3-hour TV movie adaptation of War of the Worlds, except it was super cheap, really boring. Despite being very, very faithful to the book, it's like people consider it the worst adaptation of War of the Worlds ever.
Really?
Made by the villain of Jack the Giant Killer, Pendragon? Is Pendragon a company?
No. Yeah, got company Pendragon Films.
Oh.
Yeah.
You said they're like a huge War of the Worlds fan, right? The S.
Yeah. He's a huge War of the Worlds fan.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that George. He told me George Romero tried to do a War of the Worlds movie once, It's like that's how deep this guy's information goes.
Because we're trying to get Kaiju Noir to watch what is it, like Lovecraft Country?
Yes.
County. And we're using as the angle of like, yeah, it's totally like a War of the Worlds meets cool other stuff. So I don't know if they'd ever actually seen Lovecraft Country, but there's a really cool War of the Worlds opening scene.
I'm sure. I don't know. I'd be interested to know if he has. Next, what horror game other than Resident Evil you enjoy? I don't know if I played any other horror games. You, Nick?
Yeah.
All of them.
I really enjoy Silent Hill 1 through 3. That is very similar. The original Dino Crisis 1 and 2. Parasite Eve is a very good RPG one. Dead Space, Control, if you count this horror, that one's very good. Alan Wake.
Well, you should probably talk about Alan Wake because this is like a whole Twilight Zone episode.
Alan Wake is very much Twilight Zone. There's
literally a Twilight Zone show in it.
Oh my God, they call it Night Springs, and it's just an homage to Twilight Zone. So if you find TVs within the atmosphere or within the environment as you're playing through, they will play little mini episodes.
And it always starts off with the guy being like, and this is Midnight Springs.
Yeah. This is Night Springs. There, I'm just gonna say almost every one.
Yeah, Nick loves horror. If you
games.
Awesome. Let's see. JF says, what's one of the worst animes you've seen in recent years? Like an anime you saw recently that you felt like you wasted your time? I don't watch bad anime. Like I don't watch I don't watch anime. I don't watch a lot of anime in general. So if I see something that captures my interest, like Gridman or Dynazenon, then it's like, okay, this is something or Get a Robo arc. I want to say, okay, I'm sticking with this. I guess like the worst one I've seen would be One Punch Man season 2. Not because it's bad per se, only because it's just a huge downgrade from season 1.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a new creative team, new director, new studio. Like none of the people from season 1 was able to come back to do season 2.
Yeah. One Punch Man. Go on.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like they wanted to avoid the situation that happened with Attack on Titan, where it's like they were so busy, so they waited like years to eventually get started on season 2, and they didn't want to do that. Like everyone who worked on One Punch Man season 1 was very busy at the time, so it's like we either wait until they're not busy, or we just forget them and go with a whole new team for season 2 before everyone forgets about One Punch Man.
Yeah, season 1 of One Punch Man was so beautifully done in its humor and action and character development that you and I, Andres, without any humor, actually recommended to Brayton. But then you see season 2 and it's like, Brayton, you're good. Don't bother.
You recommended Metal Dur, and I'll never live that down.
No, we watched one episode of Metal Dur. I honestly wouldn't mind doing a live watch of like the first 4 episodes.
If you want to bug Raph Brayton, go watch Kikaider the animation.
No,
it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
No, I hate that show.
Fuck him.
I'll go watch.
I understand why you like the
anime.
Story. That's what I understand why you like the story, but I don't know. I can't get behind it. So screw you. But anyway, not with my beautiful body.
Wayne Barlow says who did Alien Planet Expedition also did the monsters from Hellboy 2, Precursors, and Knifehead from Pacific Rim. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. Mark also, your buddy Mark also says Soul Eater is one of my favorites. Awesome. Panda Sweet says, what video you've made are most proud of on YouTube? That's easily my History of Gundam video. I do wish that the only regret I have with the History of Gundam video was because my buddy Gorizard was helping me out with editing because I kept running into a lot of copyright issues with Bandai. And so the final product, I don't know why, he ended up stretching the video. He ended up putting borders, which squashed the video and just uploaded it without telling me. But by the time we did so, and he got fed up with it, like he kept trying to make cut, edit after edit after edit, making a version that wouldn't get copy blocked worldwide. So I guess he said, fuck it. And he accidentally rendered that video like squashed. And I decided not to change it because it did get blocked in Japan, but it was able to survive worldwide. But other than the weird blocking thing that was done by accident by David, I am really, really proud of how that video turned out. given that so many people were really interested in getting into Gundam, but just did not know where to start because there's just so much of it. And so people praised my video for being a very basic, straightforward, to the point breakdown on what Gundam is.
That episode you did with the Gundam is so good, it makes the Gundam wiki look like shit.
And some people would be like, why didn't you talk about this? Why didn't you talk about that? Because I want to get to, the main shit of Gundam.
Yeah, Gundam 101.
Yeah. And so I am really proud. As a long-time Gundam fan, Gundam being my favorite franchise, second favorite franchise after Godzilla, I felt like I was really proud, and hoping I did justice for my favorite franchise, and hope that other people were able to get into it through that video of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Next up, Mark also mentions that Parasite Eve is also a great horror game. Have you read any of the Dark Horse Alien comics? I have not, good sir. Oh, what?
He's gonna say something?
Oh, no, something fell. I'm just going to double check it.
Okay. Next, what are your thoughts on Dynazenon? I love it. I would say it doesn't reach the highest of highs that Gridman reached, but I feel like it's a much more solid. It's a more solid piece than Gridman was. I feel like I love the cast of Gridman, but I felt like the cast of Dynazenon was more balanced. They had more interesting stuff going on with them. And none of the characters were as interesting as Gridman's Akane. The characters of Dynazenon were like a much stronger unit as a whole. And I cannot wait for the eventual crossover that's coming out next year, I believe, between Dynazenon and Gridman.
Yeah, I enjoy both seasons equally, but I do totally agree with you. Dynazenon had a stronger cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that it's like one of those anime shows where you like everyone so much on both sides of the conflict. You're like, don't fight, hug, and be friends. So. But like you mentioned, like in our chats about Dynazenon, it's like the best season of Power Rangers will never have.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, Dynazenon is the best Power Rangers show to have never been made.
Exactly. So, and also, I just love how they keep bringing like these obscure monsters from Gridman and making them major characters. Like to take the Cyber Mummy from that one episode and make him one of the lead characters. Like,
yeah.
Did you get into my head and stole my ideas?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Next
Cyber Mummy?
Yeah. There's a Cyber Mummy in the original 1993 Gridman show. They took that random villain and made him the main character of this anime.
Yeah, he was a mummy from ancient Japan who was betrayed by his people because he had the ability to control dragons.
No, shut up, Raph. Shut up. To the point. Straightforward to the point. You're making it more complicated.
It was a mummy resurrected
Shut up!
Technology, and then the mummy got resurrected as normal.
That's it.
Later.
Screw you. No, shut up.
You can mute him, remember?
I forget. I just remembered now.
No, you have the power, sir.
I just explained it quickly and beautifully before you muted me. You were so impatient, you just decided.
Anyways, so the next question. Without spoiling anything, what are your thoughts on Getter Robo Arc? I thought it was a magnificent adaptation of the final story arc of the Getter Robo saga.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is that what the God of the First Testament told a young Andres Perez? Get a Robo Arc? You had to put all your favorite.
I love being able to see Brayton because you could see he was annoyed, and then he saw the joke in his mind.
The wheels turning slowly.
Yeah, it's I hate to like Brayton. You have the best face ever. You're like,
thank you. I know. I would be terrible at poker because I'm just so expressive with my.
Yeah. You look annoyed to like yes.
Yeah.
But I guess to answer his question,
God, it's hot.
Yes, the series is very, very low budget. It's, the animation is nowhere near as good as something like Gridman or Dynazenon. And but I do sympathize with what the people were going with because Getter Robo is such a niche franchise that it was never going to acquire a budget as good as something like, say, Dynazenon or Gundam or whatever. Like, on top of like Getter Robo being a niche franchise within a niche genre, that being giant robots, but you're also adapting Getter Robo Arc, the last storyline in a manga that had never properly been one-to-one adapted. So it's like you're adapting a niche portion of a niche franchise within a niche genre. So that's like 3 levels of niches right there. So the fact that it got produced at all is honestly a miracle in my eyes. So I'm willing to forgive its technical shortcomings, and I was just happy that it was able to look presentable enough to where I really enjoyed the show, loved how faithful it was to the manga, and I love all the deep cuts and references they sprinkled through. You can tell that these were definitely Getter Robo diehard fans who wanted to do justice to this unfinished final storyline to the Getter Robo saga, which was unfortunately never completed because the author Ken Ishikawa passed away before he could ever see the story to completion. So the fact that they were willing to do something this ambitious, I will always applaud them for that. So yeah, I loved Getter Robo Arc, and I would recommend it to anyone who's already into Getter Robo. It's definitely not a good starting point for anyone into Getter Robo. This is for people who read the manga, not the OVAs, because even if you watch the OVAs, none of the OVAs ever follow the manga. They all just did their own things while picking and choosing elements from the manga. This, however, is a straight adaptation of that final portion of the manga. It's akin to, say, like, if you took like the last story arc of Dragon Ball, like the Buu saga, and just made an anime off of that, and like, imagine just there was never a Dragon Ball anime. It was just the Buu saga. But yeah, if you read the manga, which is not that long actually, even if you put all 5 storylines together, I would recommend you check it out. If you
I was really disappointed, Raph. He said Boo Saga and you didn't flash the Boo puppet.
No, I didn't. I completely kept myself from doing stupid stuff. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Rachel will do the Boo
You weren't
voice.
paying attention.
I just realized the nifty full screen feature on StreamYard. I'm pretty slow on the draw too.
You can't see the chat, but I don't know if that matters to you. Yeah.
Let's see. With Dynazenon, it's a trade-off. You either get not as interesting main cast, but an amazing villain with Gridman. With Dynazenon, you get an amazing cast, but not as good villains. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd say that's fair.
Yeah, like the funny thing is, I like the villains in Dynazenon, but
yeah, they're good enough.
Yeah, but they were more likable people than they were just outright villainous threats. Whereas in the first one, you had Akane, and of course, Alexis Carib.
Alexis Carib.
Yeah.
It's like that guy gave me a shout out.
Indeed.
Thanks to Titan Goji. Like Titan Goji, God bless him. He had the voice actor for Alexis Carib quote a Tim Curry line.
And this is exactly how it looked like when you met him.
Yeah.
How did it sound like, Raph?
No. I'm muted.
Okay.
I'll mute you.
You do the voice of Andres. I'll do the other guy.
Express your power, Andres. Express it.
Yeah, mute him because I just want to see his facial expressions when he does the voice. I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's like we're watching one of those silent films, but in color. It's a weird novelty.
Panasweet says, you had my interest in Dynazenon, but now you've got my attention. Here's a good question. What are some modern sci-fi works that you recommend for people to check out? Have you heard of Star Wars? No, you know what? Sci-fi? Gundam. Watch the original 1979 Gundam anime. If you don't have time for a 39-episode series, watch the movie compilation trilogy. So yeah, Gundam.
Robots.
Gundam. Robots!
Robots.
Anyone else want to recommend some sci-fi?
Well, since we're kind of anthology show themed, I suppose you could watch Black Mirror.
What happened? What happened to your webcam? There you go.
What am I freezing again? This has been happening all night. Oh no! So no one takes screen caps of my frozen.
It was fine.
Oh my goodness! Why are you? Don't ignore him.
Black Mirror is a good show, not something to binge because unlike The Twilight Zone, 90% of those shows end on a downbeat. But there's that one great show that's a Star Trek not parody, but is sort of a Star Trek throwback with this guy who puts people in his own little make-believe world, real life enemies. That does end on a happy note. So I would search that out. It's called oh my goodness.
The
You watch
Star
it with
Trek
me.
Black Mirror one, which like ends on a horrible note.
No, that's not it. That's not it. This one ends happy. They get their own.
I think
don't wanna
Laura
spoil
was
it,
messing
but-
with you.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, because almost every episode of Black Mirror ends on a horrible note.
It ends on a horrible, very nihilistic note, most of them. But there's this one. I will look it up and then I will parrot it to the audience because it's worth
the
your time.
SS Celestia or something.
Yeah, that one ends on a horrific note because essentially they're just in a circular of being fucked by the captain, who is essentially William Shatner. That's
I think we might be thinking the same thing, but we might be remembering it differently. Hold on.
Yeah. No, I think Laura's remembering the whole plot to it, not the ending. So.
Oh, okay. I don't want to spoil the ending because that spoils the entire purpose of watching it.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Maybe I just turned it off before the ending, and maybe I should have just been watching it.
Yeah. USS Callister is the name of it. Season 4, episode 1.
You were close.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I would search that out. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other recommendations?
All right. So don't watch Star Trek Discovery or Picard, and just watch the Orville instead.
Yeah, just watch the Orville.
And it has
Seth MacFarlane.
Robots.
Oh, there is a robot in
It's
there.
Norm Macdonald as your little talking slime thing there. That's right.
I like how you pointed to me, but it's like that just makes me sad thinking that we're gonna get an
Well, I know
Orville
you were
season
going to-
4 and then not have. Is it?
It'll be 3.
There'll be 3 that doesn't have.
But it's classic Star Trek with a modern twist with a more comedy, but it's closer to Star Trek than Discovery or Picard.
It's weird that essentially in the same lifetime or like in the same period of time we have the actual thing that I'm supposed to like. Like I'm supposed to love Star Trek Discovery because I've loved Star Trek since I was like before I was born. And then like there's the Orville, which is
how did that
I love
happen?
Star Trek before I even knew what Star Trek was.
well, I mean, I love Star
My
Trek.
mother
because
took
my
a Star
dad made
Trek
me watch it.
videotape to her belly when she
I
was
slept with
pregnant.
Gene Roddenberry and
What?
That's
breaks
more
down.
true. No, I like is like that's the weird thing. Like if anybody ever had to tell me like you have to pick between Godzilla and Star Trek, I don't know that I could because those two things are just very important to who I am. But it's just like but it's weird to be like I should love Discovery. This should be my jam. But it's like I would just much rather watch the Orville.
the fan film is so much better.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So just watch the Orville. Don't watch the new Twilight Zone. Maybe watch I feel like there was a new show we watched. Or like Twin Peaks. Like maybe watch some new the new run of Twin Peaks.
Should watch all Twin Peaks. It's
I mean,
not very
all of Twin
sci-fi
Peaks.
though.
I don't know, it kinda is. But it reminds me more of Twilight Zone. Like the atmosphericness and
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. We did have one question here. What is your biggest problem with modern tokusatsu? Definitely the toy commercial. It's just the overabundance of we got to advertise as many toys as possible.
Oh,
to
I
the
just
point-
realized today's Sunday. We got to do a pull the ultra shot.
All right, get ready, guys. Move, get ready to move over to Rap's channel.
Everybody into the square.
Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
I almost pulled my wig off.
quick, you guys, you gotta go get in the chat and mock us.
Exactly.
Stupid.
Doopy Dumberson.
Okay. Thank you for indulging me in that. That was wonderful, guys.
So, but yeah, I hate the fact that the toys have become so abundant in modern tokusatsu, whether it's Super Sentai, which also carries over to Power Rangers, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, that it got to a point where the characters are not using props, but they're using the actual toys in the show itself, and it's sad because you'll have like
funny to me.
because like you'll have
Sorry.
You have
my stupid note was like if you scroll, you know how like YouTube does like the preview of a video, like if you kind of like click on it, it'll play like
a little
so,
like
like
1 second clip. Yeah.
All of the ones for Trigger are the toy commercials.
Aw.
So if you scroll over the Trigger toy, it's just like the Trigger gun. Like Nick laughed so hard because he's like, it's the commercial. It's literally the commercial to buy the prop. It's like, yeah.
But like not the commercial itself, but like in the show itself, the characters are using the actual toys. So it's like they'll have like a tiny little plastic toy gun that was made for like a 5-year-old. And it looks tiny in their adult hands.
You were surrounded by toys, but you pick up a bottle.
I don't have toy weapons.
They're figurines, Laura. They're figurines.
They're minerals, Marie.
You know, I think the like. Okay, it's a neat concept, but I think one of the biggest offenders in this regard that you mentioned was the recurring Spark dolls in the first couple of Ultraman shows.
Right. I've been pulling my fingers.
They literally use the actual action figures of the monsters in the show itself. But ironically, they made it work. It's like, oh, when we destroy a monster, it becomes a toy.
That's not a Spark doll. That's a doggy.
She's my figurine.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Let's see. Anything else? I like this question. Have you read any of the James Gurney Dinotopia books and art book? Yes, I read a lot of those books in middle school. Big fan.
I liked the TV show.
There was a TV show? I remember the TV movie, but not the TV show.
And then the TV show.
Oh, okay. I definitely remember the TV movie.
The one that was like Merlin that had the guy from Jurassic Park. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Sam Neill?
Yeah, it had Sam Neill. Though, you know, like the Merlin show that had Sam Neill. It was a lot like that was what Dinotopia was, where it was like an event on ABC for 7 days, and then they had Dinotopia, the TV show.
Nice.
I'll send you a trailer later. It was good.
Okay. Oh yeah, definitely, please.
I prefer the Sam Neill Merlin.
Dinotopia.
Have you seen the new?
She's arrived.
Have you seen the new Dune movie yet? No, I have not.
Right.
Anyone?
I saw the new Dune movie yet.
What'd you think? What?
Oh, it's lovely and especially worthy of the IMAX experience if you feel safe enough to go. It was leaked, as I understand it, like 4 or 5 days before it came out to HBO Max.
I mean, it's a book too. I don't know if you know.
Well, it is a book, and I absolutely loved it, and I would suggest everybody go to support Denis Villeneuve. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, modern kaiju sci-fi too. He directed a movie called Aftermath too, which is really good, or Arrival. Not Aftermath, which is really good.
Nice.
That's
the one with the people trying to contact the aliens.
Yes, and the big obelisks. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, through sign language, I think.
I totally did not know that there was a Dinotopia cartoon.
Oh God, it probably is shitty.
It was a tie-in to the TV show.
There's a Dinotopia cartoon. I was in the Dinotopia cartoon as that little fairy book from the page.
My life is Dinotopia.
That's all I need.
Cookies.
Can I make a quick sci-fi movie recommendation?
Make a quick sci-fi movie right now. Get a spaceship.
No, he's gonna whip out puppets. No.
Yeah.
Die for your crime. There you go. Twilight Zone episode.
Here's a question that's for Nick. Have you played Metroid Dread yet?
His name's Andres, but whatever.
I know, but I don't play Metroid.
Like Andres.
This is a question.
I like the robot.
I have not played Metroid Dread.
I mean, we all do like the robot. This should be the ending. We all realize we're in the Twilight Zone. We are all Andres.
But yeah, have you played Dread?
We are all Andres. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's Draco's. Okay.
Yes, that's Draco. That's a Draco's
scratching her head.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember Andres with an axe.
Give me 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
You're gonna poke your eye out. Stop it. Oh wait, you're playing on the dog.
That's amazing.
Draco Padre. What is it? Was it
It's
Padre?
Perito Azul.
Perito.
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 She's like, I hate all
Shit,
of you.
I just remember I was supposed to watch Doctor Who tonight. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
With your 1 o'clock in the morning pizza on schedule, Doctor Who.
It is having a repeat at 2 a.m. So I'm excited.
I
about
am
that.
right near the end. I don't know what you think of it yet, Doomzilla, but I've liked it a lot.
He says that, but there's been a lot of swearing that is involved with that game that he's just
But I
like,
still
well, this
like
is
it.
stupid. It's like, okay.
I did not say it's stupid. I got frustrated.
Yeah, you get frustrated.
And I'll take this as the very last question for our good buddy S452. Have
Which
you
one?
ever seen the TV miniseries V?
Which one? There's two.
The original. I think he means the one.
Have you?
from the
I guess
70s.
have you seen either one?
I've seen both of them. I love that. It's my favorite TV drama miniseries.
Okay.
Oh, same crap. Okay.
Anyone else seen V?
You've seen one episode of it.
I've seen one episode of it.
It's essentially, hey, these Nazi aliens are here, but we're not going to talk about that they're Nazis. And they're going to eat us.
Sounds just like America right now.
Sounds like someone in that show has a vendetta.
Oh, I get it. That's play on words with the V. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Yep.
So I would say
Alright.
that's a victorious play on words.
Yeah, V was the bomb.
Yeah. I liked V.
Cool. So
That's the
I
one
guess-
with the guy in the mask killing people. Right?
Yeah, but there were 5 of them according to the Romans.
Okay.
V.
I get that one. Another gold star for your face.
He's like, God damn it, don't touch me. It's getting darker and darker for Bray Bray.
Yes, it is. It's I don't know why the lighting's getting worse.
Yeah.
My consciousness is fading.
So I guess now's the time to start wrapping things up. We've been at this for 3.5 hours. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you
Come
very
on,
much,
go the
everybody.
full 6 hours like I did.
No, thank you very much,
No,
everybody.
no.
Like, I'm willing to make this like a big thing, like a big 3-hour thing, because I rarely get the chance to do live streams these days. So I'm really glad we were able to have it a session as big as this with a very consistent audience. I'd say we've been at like between like 8 or 9 viewers and a very healthy, active chat here, constantly always giving us feedback. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for my 7th annual Halloween live stream. Thank you very much to Raph, Nick, Laura, and Brayton for all joining me here, especially during this time where Halloween is not very big, as I've mentioned on plenty other streams before here in Japan. So this was really like something that I very much so needed when I for you guys to help provide that Halloween experience that Japan could never provide, and I will always be grateful for that for both for you guys, my co-host, and for everyone here in the chat. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Well, golly gee.
I actually feel wanted. I don't know how to feel about this.
You make a ghoul feel appreciated, Andre.
Here's a narwhal for you, my friend.
He's been holding that for like 15 minutes.
Quick, stab him with it. He's over there.
So, for everyone else, so I guess we will start with Raph here.
I thought we were just leaving.
Oh,
now how do I?
Oh,
hey! Holy crap! What am I supposed to do? Where's my lines? What page am I supposed to be on? Okay. Anyways, thank you, everybody. I've had a really good October with you guys, with a lot of my live streams. Oh wait, am I even on live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I thought. All right. Yeah. No. October has been very good to me because I did like 3 big live streams with Andres, Brayton, Laura, and Nick. And those were a lot of fun. It was really good to end Halloween with tonight, especially after having a rather hectic and terrible day today. I really needed this just to kind of calm everything down. Just thank you guys. I know I'm sort of the weird odd man out, but the fact that you guys still allow me to come to these streams like a reusable Gorosaurus suit at the end of Destroy All Monsters means a lot to me. So that's it. So
you jump kick the competition.
Oh, I like how he didn't even say like where you could find him or his YouTube channels or his Twitter or like you. Like,
oh, sorry about that.
This is
in Shoma's channel on YouTube, and Shoma lives on Facebook, and in Shoma on DeviantArt.
Hold on, 1 second. Let him go to your window. No,
Okay,
go
there we
around,
go.
go around.
Dark. Oh, hey. Okay, so yeah, just if you see in Shoma over there, yeah, just put that in Google and you'll find In Shoma Lives, my official Facebook page, my YouTube channel in Shoma. We recently did a live watch of Mad Monster Party and Halloween is Grinch Night. And every Sunday, me and Andres, we do a show called Pull the Ultra Trigger, where we watch the latest episode of Ultraman Trigger. We took this week off just so we can do this tonight. But next week we'll be doing we're going to be doing catch up with 2 episodes. So yeah, definitely check that out on my channel again under In Shoma, and you can find a bunch of my artwork on In Shoma Lives, In Shoma on Twitter, and In Shoma on Instagram. Although In Shoma on DeviantArt is where you'll find the vast majority of my artwork. And that's basically it. I know, like I said, I know I'm sort of the obscure odd man out here, but it's wonderful you guys have still chosen to let me be your friend. So, all right. Oh God, that sounded bad. Go on.
Oh, it's so sad. But I don't have anything else to add after that. But like, that's sad, but it's true. But it's true. Oh, but we're Nick and not Nora. Yeah, my name.
What?
Because Raph always calls me Nora.
Oh.
As in Andres' joke that we should have a stupid show that is Nick and Laura's Infinite Playlist. I'm like, that's really clever. I wish I would have thought of that before I thought of our show, which is called Review Roulette, which I can't actually say very well because it's like that alliteration. It's hard. We have a podcast called Review Roulette that everybody except for Brayton has been on, but maybe that could. No, it's probably not going to change. He's not going to have time. But yeah, we have a show. I keep saying every time that we're on something that like next week we're going to have our Sonic episode, but someday between now and December our Sonic episode will come out. But yeah, we are a Review Roulette podcast. Anywhere you find podcasts, we're gonna have some YouTube stuff coming out pretty soon. Maybe some Twitch stuff. But that's about it. Yeah, and we're Jet Jaguar and formerly Otaka Factory until it was hot, and then Nick took his off. We're done.
Beware of the big green dragon that sits at your doorstep. He eats little boys, puppy dog tails, and big fat snails. Beware, take care. And you can find me on YouTube at Branson Films if you want to. And I will be on your show, Laura. What is it? Russian roulette? Sounds risky, but I'll be there.
Oh, okay. We can watch some Star Trek. Weren't we going to watch some Star Trek or something?
Sure. I'll watch anything once that isn't Ultraman or Power Rangers or Common Motor.
I'll message you. We'll watch good stuff. We like good stuff. I don't know about your other 2 friends. We actually enjoy good stuff.
I know. That would be such a joy to be around folks who enjoy the finer things.
This isn't proof enough that we have the whole set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I come to pull the Ultra Trigger for you, Brayton. That's the only reason I come anymore.
Thank you. And I just need another
they
voice
can hear
eternity. Okay. I'm done. I'm done.
All right. Still. Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to the hang of this.
Well, no, go back to that one. Hold on, I want to do something.
Okay.
Till the one day when the lady met this fellow. Yeah, look at each other and smirk and say, "Oh, you." Oh, that Raph.
At least it's not Hollywood Squares where one of us has to be Bruce Valanche. We're like,
I'm Bruce Valanche. I can be Paul Land.
Right.
Take your Power Ranger character out of here, Raph. Take him out.
I'm still trying to get used to the whole StreamYard situation here. I've always been used to being the guest on After Dark, which you can find me there. But this is probably the first time I've actually used live StreamYard to.
You should do this more often. This is fun.
I probably should, yeah. So, like, for anyone who has an idea for what to do for future live streams, I'd be definitely down to hear them in comments once this live stream is over.
In the comments of this episode.
Yeah, any and all feedback would definitely be interested to know what you would like from me for more live streams down the road. We might do Christmas. Yeah, we usually do Christmas live streams here. Or is it here or is it on your stream, Raph?
No, we usually do it on your stream. And I was going to say they have I don't know if they're going to keep it up for long, but they have Jingle All the Way on YouTube for free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's some tons of good Christmas movies to choose from, but I know your last year's stream where we watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and The Grinch That Stole Christmas was a really good live stream we did with
I think if we do a double feature, one of the short features should be Charlie Brown Christmas, only because I want to draw us as Peanuts characters.
Okay. That would be fun. Yes.
Isn't that Patrick Galvin's favorite movie?
Patrick loves the Peanuts. That's
loves
the Peanuts.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, weird. I guess it kind of appeals to his melancholy nature. So.
He is Charlie Brown.
No, he's what's the girl's name?
The one in blue?
Peppermint Patty?
No.
Always pulling the football away from David.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no. I was just going to say last year's Christmas live stream with you. I think that's one of the best things we ever did, just because it was so much fun.
Right, and
other than tonight, right, Raph? Other than tonight.
We'll definitely do that again this year. So do look forward to that Christmas live stream. And for any other live streams, again, please leave your feedback in the chat once this is over. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me today. And if you want to know any of my stuff, of course, there's the Kaiju Noir stuff that you can find me here on YouTube. Be sure to check out my Giant Robot, Giant Monster indie comic, Primal Warrior Draco Azul, Issues 1, Issues 2, as well as the novel-length anthology, as well as my upcoming novel, Draco Azul Soulless Blood, co-written by me and Ace Maroke, including my editor, Matt Dennian, and my beta readers, Nick and Laura here. I'm really grateful for their help. Hopefully, I do plan to really have the book released. We're currently in the wrapping up on editing the book and going through it and cleaning it up. So look forward to that. And to know any and all updates on Draco Azul as a whole, you can follow me on Instagram at KaijuNoir, on Twitter at PW_Draco Azul, and on Facebook through the Primal Warrior Draco Azul Facebook page, where you can get up to date on all of the novel, the books, the comics, the upcoming action figure, and the other projects that we've have in the works. So do look forward to all of that and more. So until next time, everybody, thank you very much. Happy Halloween, and to all, a good fright.
Case study Mr. Andres Perez, YouTuber handle Kaiju Noir, the great proprietor of another successful Halloween live stream. But as you blissfully settle in tonight, keep your wits about you. For lurking on Maple Street or hiding under your bed, there may be monsters and gremlins and hammy actors.
Yeah! Ooh, be afraid of me.
That was Halloween. And this is the Robot Zone.
Somewhere in a lonely hotel room, there's a guy starting to realize that his eternal fate has turned its back on him. And it's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. The fear is gone. I'm sitting here, waiting. The gun's still warm. Maybe my connection is tired of taking chances. Yeah, there's a storm on the loose, sirens in my head. I'm wrapped up in silence, all circuits are dead. I cannot decode, my whole life spins into a frenzy. Help, I'm stepping into the twilight zone. The place is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? Help, I'm stepping into the twilight zone. The place is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far?
You will come to know when the bullet hits the bone. Soon you will come to know when the bullet hits the bone. When the bullet hits the bone. When the bullet hits the bone.
Well, that's the way it goes.